He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great son, Sergeant Dr. Nkrumah.
Good morning to you wherever you are. Thanks for making time to join us on the show today. It's the mother of all talk shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. We are live from Pan-African Television. That's our main forum from which we broadcast. So if you use a television set, if it's digital, you can tune into Pan-African Television. Go TV, we are also on. You can tune into us. Kojo Chumbuafo says it's the best platform to watch Pan-African Television. He says Go TV, but I watch with the digital channel, so you can do that. But don't forget, in the Accra metropolis, you can tune into us. Ahunto 92.3 FM. Ahunto 92.3 FM is our major radio partner here. We have several other radio partners across the country which are streaming us live. A big thank you to all of them. We are live on Facebook, Pan-African Television, spelled out in full. We are live on YouTube on the same channel. We are also live on Radio Gold 905 FM. That's the Facebook page of Radio Gold. We are live on internet radio. If you use any of the radio streaming app, just look for Radio Gold 90.5 FM on Ahunto 92.3 and you get to listen to us. A big thank you to our guys at Danfopa Media in Paris who are also tuning to us currently as we speak. My name is Sena Nombo. It's once again my pleasure to welcome you to the mother of all talk shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. Thank you for making time. Always a pleasure coming your way every Saturday morning. Now, let me just start the show today with a story that has received some prominence, including making it to the BBC this week. And this is a report by CTFM, and it's about the collapse of that building in Achimba Tebi. And this is sorry. It says, rescue efforts to find persons who survived following the collapse of a church building at Achimba Tebi in the Asene Manso Akroso district of the Eastern region have ended. The National Disaster Management Organization, which was leading the rescue mission, ended the operation on Friday, October 23, 2020. Rescuers recovered 22 dead bodies, including that of a baby girl. Of the dead person, 12 were female and 10 were males. 8 survivors were saved during the earlier stages of rescue efforts. The 3-story building, which served as a structure for the Church of Prosperity, collapsed around 2 p.m. on Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. After some 4 days searching for survivors, NADMO halted the use of machines. The Ghana Air Force provided the sniffer dogs during the early hours of Friday to check for possible bodies covered by the debris. There were conflicting reports about the number of persons who were in the building before it went down. So 22 persons lost in that particular collapse. There are questions to be answered, but so far those questions are not being asked because there's a focus on rescuing as many people as possible. We understand the rescue efforts have ended. A very, very sad development this week. Another sad development which we'll be discussing on the show today is what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria is 2 countries away from us, but we are basically like neighbors. If anything happens in Nigeria, they ignore the other 2 countries between, they are heading for Ghana. And so Lagos has been the center of attention of the world because of protests there that end violence, and also there was some shooting. There was a regrettable shooting that was carried out by people suspected to be security forces that, of protesters who were protesting at the Lekki toll gate. And that's a question, that's something that the presidency has have to provide some answers to. Let me guess, one of the television stations that have been reported, that have been reporting this particular issue, have provided some updates on what is happening as Channels TV in Nigeria. They have provided even some videos of what transpired at the Lekki toll booth. And this is a story that they uploaded to, there's 23rd actually, and it's Lagos government relaxes curfew, says residents can move from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget there was a 24-hour curfew at some point on Lagos State. And it said the Lagos State government has relaxed the ongoing curfew following the violence recorded in various parts of the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made the announcement on Friday while briefing reporters at the Lagos House in Marina. We have decided that we are going to be easing the curfew from tomorrow morning. And what that easing means is that people will be allowed to go out from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. For emphasis, from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, you'll be allowed to go out to wherever you wish till 6 p.m. So that's coming from him. But there's also another report from the BBC where the death toll. Remember when the Lekki incident happened? The same governor of Lagos State, initially said there were no fatalities. Nobody had lost their life. Now, President Buhari is now saying that they've lost 69 people in the arrest in total. It says the death, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari says 69 people have been killed in protests against police brutality that have rocked the country. The deaths were mainly civilians, but include police officers and soldiers. The president announced the toll in an emergency meeting with former Nigerian leaders aimed at finding ways to end the arrest. His spokesman told the BBC, a group that has been key in organizing the demonstration has now urged people to stay at home. The Feminist Coalition also advised people to follow any curfews in place in their state. So that's also happening in Nigeria. That will be our very first topic for discussion. And also, we'll bust that in with what is happening in Ivory Coast, because the last time there were elections that led to arrest in Ivory Coast, they, like I indicated, they also headed straight here, and we had to accommodate refugees. Now, remember that the former president, Laurent Gbagbo, was taken out so that this particular president to make way for this president. So we are talking about that. And then we are spending some time at the Electoral Commission of Ghana. There was balloting this week. So the ballot positions are known now. We'll spend some time talking about them. And then we'll end with the auditing of Daniel Domelevo's international travels. They said, including some officials of the Auditor General. We'll end with that one. Joining me in the studio this morning for this discussion, Mr. Kwesi Prajan, who's managing editor of the Insight newspaper. Mujib Rahman is a member of the communications team of the New Patriotic Party. And then His Excellency, Ambassador Zita, always, Saba Benson. I was going to say Zita Okaikwe. Everybody always remembers that. Who is Ghana's former ambassador to Czech Republic. We are back shortly with a discussion. We'll start on the African topic with Mujib Rahman today, immediately after this break.
I go kill you with enjoyment.
10 years of rewarding radio and television excellence. 10 years of rewarding excellent voices and personalities. 10 years of providing quality entertainment. RTP Awards, it's 10 years. The excitement is back. The 10th Adonko RTP Awards hitting the Kempinski Hotel live on the 7th of November 2020, coupled with spectacular performances. Time 6 p.m. The Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Hand Sanitizer, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Jimre Estates, Bio Litigation Freelance, Vena Mineral Water, Your Lifestyle, Dofu Roofing Systems, Yas Tissues, Special Drinks, Jerigati Fashion House, Papa's Pizza, Axis Shipping, 247 Zara Boutique, A to Z Auto Services, Sumisura by Abdul, a step ahead in tailoring. The 10th Adonko RTP Awards is a black tie event. Attendance is by invitation. For Pan-African TV to win more awards, vote for us now. For Alhaji and Alhaji to win Television Current Affairs Program of the Year Award, dial *447 *111 hash. Select RTP Alhaji and Alhaji to vote. Or you can log on to rtpawardsadafrica.com. Select RTP Alhaji and Alhaji to vote.
I go.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him.
Well, thank you very much for joining us once again. If you're just joining us, it's Alhaji and Alhaji, the mother of all talk shows. We are live on Pan-African television. A big thank you to Bewa Radio in Yendi. A big thank you to Matambo Radio in Tamale and also Diamond FM. A big thank you to Global FM in Ho. A big thank you to Vision 1 TV also in Ho. A big thank you to Shine FM in Akachi. Nyawasi Radio in Katekwati is also tuning to us. A big thank you to all of you. So we'll start the discussion rather the other way around. We'll start with elections in Ghana and the events that have happened this week. Like I indicated, I'm starting with Mujib Rahman today. Mujib, good morning.
Thank you very much, and thank you to your cherished viewers, both within and without. Sena, I think it's 45 or 46 days to the general elections. Because as day in, day out, the numbers are reducing, and we are gradually getting to the 7th December general elections in Ghana. And it is crucial that we all have to be careful and be law-abiding, as the state secretaries are emphasizing and putting all measures in place to have a free and peaceful elections in this country. That notwithstanding, the political parties are also crisscrossing the country, and they are also canvassing for votes and they are giving all manner of promises to the people of Ghana. Some to the extent are even promising outside the manifestos that were launched. And you can't fault them, because sometimes when they get to the podium or the stage and they see the crowd, they say, oh, let me talk to them, let me tell the people what indeed they want. So as we move on, we'll go into details and take them specific by specifics. But that is it. And the major two political parties are my focus. But I think so far, the conduct of the leading political parties, the President of the Republic of Ghana, who is the leader of the New Patriotic Party, has been doing fantastic well in his campaign and his public engagement in trying to campaign. The former President John Dramani Mahama has also so far conducting his campaign very well. I know by now, is he still in the Western or wherever he is, but he's seriously campaigning. And Sena, I am happy because looking at this important personalities who are leading the parties, and I think that if we want to follow them, I think we'll have a very, very better and a very decorum politics moving forward, moving into the 7th December elections. But sometimes there will be other members who, by their conduct and trying campaigning, will go the other way around. I'm talking of politics of insult, which is not the best way to go. So I think that I will urge the youth and the supporters of this bigger political parties, NDC and NPP, to always emulate the examples of the leaders, those that we are following, their conduct, their demeanor, and their utterances. I think that it will help us as a nation. But those who want to engage in or have engaged in politics of insult, I don't think that is the best way. But and I'm not surprised to the airwaves have been inundated. You go to social media every day now. That is the center that has been dominating the politics. But that is right, because everywhere, if there are going to be elections, especially when the time is getting closer, these are some of the things you see. I think yesterday, America had their last debate between President Trump and candidate Biden, and you could see that has also taken the center stage of the American media. So that is the system we have for ourselves. So now moving into the Electoral Commission, for me so far so good. Electoral Commission have done well. They have done better in spite of all the accusation, the innuendos, the vilification of the Electoral Commissioner and her colleagues. But they kept fit and they are resolute and they are moving forward. Just last week, they had, I think this week, they have balloted, and all the political parties now have taken their numbers. So all of a sudden, those who were very vociferous and criticizing every stage of the Electoral Commission activities were now has now turned into Reverend Fathers, the second coming of John. So when they came out and with their two, and they were happy, laughing, and jubilating, I asked myself, I said, this same Electoral Commission you were lambashing and insulting, that they were in to do some kululu, trying to rig election in somebody's favor. So I was only happy at that level. They now have realized that no, there's nothing hidden, there's nothing untoward that the Electoral Commission is doing. But what can we say? Because from day one, the NDC has made it a point that they will not cooperate with the Electoral Commission. So whatever they are doing is to maintain their original position, even though at every stage the Electoral Commission proved them wrong, but they still want to maintain. So, but I hope where we are, Sena, and they have also reaffirmed that there's no way they will conduct a flawed elections. Like some leading political figures are saying that they will not accept flawed results. And nobody in this country will accept flawed results. And Sena, we have never had flawed results in this country, elections in this country, from 1992 up to date. So not under the current Electoral Commission. I think they also have their own reputation to protect. So they do well, posterity will judge them. And they can't afford to fail the people of this country by their own conduct, by their own statement, and by their own engagement with the stakeholders of our elections. So far, I think that we need to commend the Electoral Commission. Moving, and we can only be hopeful that all what we have seen so far, then at the end, the D-Day on 7th December, it will be peaceful and all the activities will come to manifest and we'll have a free, transparent and fair elections. And it is my hope that the winner, the loser will be more magnanimous to concede for the interests of the people of Ghana and for the interests of this country, because Ghana is the only country. And Sena, it's elections. This is not the first time. Somebody must win, somebody must lose. So both, all the political parties, the 13. But if you wanted the major two, NDC and the MPP, you must be preparing your mind. It can go either way. But I am convinced from the campaign, I have also been taking part and have witnessed and what is going on per the performance of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the last 3.5 years, and with the 4 more for Nana, I am convinced that the people of Ghana will renew the president mandate to continue his good works that we have experienced so far. But I think that so far the Electoral Commission has proven the critics wrong, that they are capable, they are up to task and can deliver credible, free, fair elections in this country. So no wonder the number 2 people have started jubilating. So the second coming of John. So can we also then say that it was cooked for you to pick the number 2? When they go there, they went there with a mindset. I listened to my good friend, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. I think he was in for war. I said, this is a process. Let's do the first stage. Then the party will now put the parties in order according to the number you pick. Then that will move us into the second stage of the real balloting. And also the national. And people were ready to exchange blows. It's not befitting of us. And I think that we should all psych our mind, much as we want to win political power, but we have to do the right things and make sure we also acknowledge the effort of others who are also contributing to make sure that things go a better way for all of us to benefit. So I am happy, and I know by now the NDC will be reconsidering their position, even though now there's no time for them to come out and say, oh, our original position was wrong. But we thought that maybe this were the thinking and what the people will be doing. But so far, their conduct has proven us wrong. So let's support them and we all build a better country by getting free, fair, transparent elections on 7th December and beyond. So it's good.
Thank you very much, Mujib. So the question we are trying to answer is less than 2 months to the elections. Are we on course? Are we on course in preparations for the elections? Mujib says, so far, so good. But for those who are criticizing the Electoral Commission, I'm going to Gojo Chumbuafo shortly. But before I do that, Dr. Baba Zamo says his master planner, Junior in Kintampo, says any Ghanaian who is going to vote on the ballot paper should press 1 for the stable electricity or press 2 for Dumso, and says 4 more for Nana. Lumo NSS, NDC is the best party that can solve our problem for us. Olanyo Inakwetia says, why are police not arresting the engineer at the district assembly who gave the pastor permit to build? All they do is to go around to write stop work, produce permit. They then take money, and that's the end. They don't do any inspection. This can be done in any serious country. Thank you, Walanyo. Oibo Boatin says, JDM, please stop wasting your time and money because President Akufo-Addo has won 2020 election in advance. 4 more for Nana to do more. Thank you for that message. Robertson K. Akumate says, this is the first time I'm home to watch your excellent program, but our lights are off. Sorry, Robertson. Evans Nana one says, please ask this MPP man that did the EC take the number 2 for the NDC? That's his question. Ayu Farouk in Tamale says, good morning, and says, why is the President Nana Addo afraid to speak directly to the SARS brutalities in Nigeria? Is he afraid of Buhari or what? The position he occupied is not armchair position. He should speak out as a leader. Thank you for that message. Anto says, Sena, there's nothing wrong for political leaders to promise as they move around the country to fill in the gaps in their manifestos. For Mujib to make a laughing stock of it is surprising when his flag bearer promised a stadium for the people of Oti. And even on the day of their manifesto launch at Cape Coast, an unthought of airport appeared. Please, patrons of Pan-African TV, thank you. This is Positive Change Madina says, we can no longer continue to trust the destiny of this great nation into the hands of Akufo-Addo and his group of careless, clueless, incompetent, and poor-performing appointees for another 4 more years. Voting for John Mahama is a civic responsibility. That's from Positive Change in Madina. Thank you for the messages you're sending. Keep them coming. I was reading from our Facebook platform on Pan-African Television, one of the platforms you can get us on. Mr. Chumbo.
Yeah, good morning to all the august listeners of this program, and good morning to my fellow panelists, especially my sister Zita. It's been a very long time. And, I can see that you've recharged and all your cylinders are firing. All the V8s are firing. Very good. So this morning I'll leave Mujib to you to deal with. He can be a little fractious. So you are the only one who can deal with him. On the EC and the preparation towards the election, let me read something before I go. Let me read something, because I think that my brother Mujib is trying to create the impression that the EC has done a sterling job and all is well and all has been well. Let me read the United States State Department and its Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, who happens to be the Republican incumbent Secretary of State, wrote this in the U.S. State Report. He said, the June ouster of the Electoral Commission chairperson and the president's subsequent stacking of the Electoral Commission with persons considered to be biased in favor of the ruling party raises questions about whether the body might be used to stifle voter registration among the opposition's base. You will also recall that
Make statement and we'll take it. Look at their own.
Please,
now they are even fighting the
let him.
Trump and his people.
Let him.
We should believe them.
Let him.
No,
please.
Maybe let's localize, but Trump, not Trump today.
No, let him make, at least let him land before you respond.
The United States State Department, unlike your government, it's an institution. They follow an institutional path. So they are diplomats and workers at the State Department who are not swayed by itinerant politics. But I've just read what they wrote, and this is as far. Mujib doesn't want me to say that they wrote this as far back as 2018, but 2018 when you thought he was credible. But this is what they've written. Just a few weeks ago, they also warned certain African countries in which elections are going to be held this year to be careful that they will not tolerate disenfranchisement of the electorate. from the get-go, before these people won elections, they telegraphed what they were going to do at the Electoral Commission. They came up with that fictitious charge against Charlotte Osei. I mean, if Charlotte Osei was removed for incompetence, should we even have an Electoral Commission by now, gathering from what these people have done? My sister Zita is sitting here. She's going to show you her 3 different voter IDs. And she's not the only person. Our vice presidential candidate also had 2 different registrations under her name. And then when she went to check, her name wasn't there. These are people who have spent 1.8 billion with a B cedis of our money, producing a supposed electoral register that was supposed to cure everything from scabies to yaws and itches. That electoral role that they were having was supposed to have been able to send nuclear missiles. It wasn't even able to do the basic things that it was supposed to do. Capture the names of people and remove the phenomenon of double registrations and whatever. During the registration exercise, we all saw what they tried to do, disenfranchise ours. It is in the document that I just read. They sent soldiers to the voter region, ostensibly to stop COVID from entering just the voter region. Right? They sent a battalion of soldiers on mounted armored cars and trucks with submachine guns to go and stop a few Voltarians who had emigrants to the black voter region from locating a polling station that they had removed from where they lived. We all saw the pictures. Soldiers mounted on a Humvee with an M2 50mm caliber machine gun pointed at them. They were in a Kia truck. Then we were told that those soldiers were sent to enforce a private agreement between 2 candidates in that region. They sent soldiers into huts and hamlets in the voter region. We heard that some of the people were being told that because they had Togolese handwriting, they were not Ghanaians. And this came from the MCE. Don't tell me you haven't heard it, because your modus operandi is to say that this one I didn't hear. Your MCE opened his mouth and said the people were stopped from registering because they had Togolese handwriting. And I tried to look through the Sanskrit on my computer to find out what Togolese handwriting was. We heard the president of this republic in one of his fellow Ghanaians broadcasts say that this election was not a West African election, whatever that means. What's a West African election? So please don't sit here and tell us that the Electoral Commission has been sterling and that somehow or the other, because we got number 2, you know, I and most NDC people, you can say you are what do you call, you are superstitious. So number 2 means second coming. Why? The prophecies have abounded that John Mahama will win the election again. It doesn't mean that somehow or the other the party should just sit and wait that manna will drop for heaven. No, we've done our work. We've done a lot of hard work. We are expecting to win based on President Mahama's sterling record whilst he was in government. But even more importantly, we are expecting to win based on the monumental failure and disaster that this government is. This is a government that has borrowed 170 billion cedis, more money than between Gadisberg and the time they came to power, in 3.5 years. And we see nothing for it. All we see is profligate expenditure, enrichment of the so-called friends and family brigade, right? Today, this country that we live in today, we are living in a country where assigns and apparatchiks of the president and their girlfriends have bought discotheques. Where they go and dance every Saturday, Sunday. They bought their own disco. And this is a truism. Everybody in this country knows what is going on. This president runs around with his own chair in a custom-made Tundra pickup. We've seen it. It is not unusual to see the president in a convoy of about 50 brand new Lexuses and Land Cruisers. This is what Ghanaians are going to vote against, Mujib. You have borrowed 170 billion cedis and you are using the money to buy Land Cruisers. You said this year was the year of roads. What road? What road have you constructed? What road? One. You said that you were going to give every constituency $4 million as we speak. As we speak. Where's the money? $4 million per constituency as we speak. Where's the money? And when you ask them, they say they use it to make toilets. You can't answer me. You can't answer me. And if you interrupt me, if you speak, I'll interrupt you too. Just let's understand that. $4 million per constituency. As we speak, where is the money? As we speak today, where is the $4 million per? When you ask them, they said they've used it to make toilets. Is that what you told us? Are people still not queuing to use the loo? Dr. Baumia told us that by this time, every Ghanaian will have a bank account. When you ask him, he said, but you have Momo. That is his definition of having a bank account. This is a country where the vice president told us that he is going to make sure, listen, he is going to make sure that by this time, that was when they came into office, he told us that by this time, our currency will be the best currency on the face of this continent. And then after the currency has depreciated by over a third, he told us that we shouldn't worry. The rate of depreciation is better than that of the NDC's 8-year period. So we should take it like that. This is a man who had told us that he had locked up the currency and locked up the rate of depreciation, giving the keys to the IGP for the IGP to lock up. Needless to say, they sacked the IGP with 3 weeks for his term to end. Only God knows why. So, as far as we are impending ascent back into office in this country, it is about the bad governance. I haven't even yet gone into corruption. I'll go there later. But I haven't yet gone into... As for the corruption, if I start, we won't end. So I'll leave that. But bad governance. Itinerantly bad governance. Lack of security in this country. We live in a country where today armed robbers can block a section of a road here and there. It hasn't just happened once. Today it has become what we are talking about because they took down an MP and executed him. And in the words of eyewitnesses, you politicians have made this country what it is. So they executed the MP in cold blood. And my condolences go to that family for losing a breadwinner, a father, a pillar of our society. Never mind, he's not on our side of the aisle. But nobody should go through what he has had to go through. But it is because of bad governance. Bad governance. You promise us A, you do Z. When the MPP were coming to power, they told us categorically that borrowing was a lazy man's way. I'm quoting Dr. Baumia, a lazy man's way of solving economic problems. My God, how lazy are they? Before they came to power, they told us that family and friends was something they will never do. Remember the president's iconic statement in Kumasi? That's for him. He's not going to come and do family and friends. There are 65 people who are directly associated with the president at the level of being first cousins in this government. At least 6 of them are in his cabinet. And when he was asked, he said they are qualified. Sena, I will leave it here for now, but Mujib, you are not the moderator of this program. So if you want me to tell you what you should say, you are trying to distract me. So if you want me to tell you what you should say, when your time comes, I'll give you a dossier on what I think you should be saying. I think you are behaving unfairly and you should stop. The forthcoming elections has nothing to do with spiritualism. It has nothing to do with iconoclasm. It has nothing to do with praise singing or going to church or the mosque or whatever. It has nothing to do with number 1, number 2. If the NDC had picked the last, the first or the middle number, we are still headed to win. Whatever this EC is doing, it's not going to matter. The people of Ghana will decide. And I think that by and large, we all know where this thing is heading. If the government was not afraid of where the election is heading, why are they implementing everything in the NDC manifesto? Why are they calling Okada drivers? Why are they giving nurses and teachers back allowances? Why have they stopped licensure exams? And so on and so forth.
They wrote it. It was written.
And so on and so forth. Why are they implementing every single thing that the NDC said it was going to do? Why have they put their own manifesto aside? Why are they listing things in the NDC's manifesto and saying that they did it? Like the UGMC. It's on page 82 of their manifesto. Shameful. But it's there. They have absolutely no shame. And in fact, one of them brazenly came out and said that after they've implemented what is in the NDC's manifesto, what else do the NDC have and why do they want to come into government? I'll tell you why NDC is going to come into government. Because you yourself have admitted that you shouldn't be in government. If you want to implement what the NDC says we should do, we are better at implementing what we want to do than you. So you will go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll come to Ambassador Benson shortly. But before that, let me do a couple of messages that you've been sending to us through our WhatsApp platform. This one is from Datus from Lolobi, says, wherever Mahama goes, development flows. If Mahama is tagged with corruption, he's far better than the current nation looters, he says. Some of the earlier messages that you sent to me, try as much as possible to take some of the earlier ones. Okay, so that's Datus. This one says, African leaders are not serious. When it comes to governing the country, selfish leaders like Nana don't only know about this, his family. The process in Nigeria is a political plan and executed. Okay. Jibril Swali would send that from Tamale Central. Samo. This one says, Sena, please tell Mujib that you should, you should answer the question and stop putting that into the good people of Ghana. When it said insult, what would to me is saying about our former president and his family if it's good for him and so-called leaders? Fine, we'll all go that way. Send that from Nungwa. Thank you very much for the message. Make it as clear as possible so we can make it easier for me to read. This one is from Shamsu Bawa. Says the MPP should not be worried about the postponement of the NDC manifesto. Okay, that's an old one. This one, MPP have nothing to boast about. What they can only do is to throw dust into the eyes of some Ghanaians. But I know it is time for the good people of Ghana to vote them out. Send that one from Bumpurugu. Thank you for the message. Okay, this one says, please tell Mujib that... okay, thank you. That's my job. Thank you. The Moses Boga Kalbeo says, Sena, why is the President Akufo-Addo refusing to debate former President Mahama? It's always funny when you hear the MPP saying they have worked. If you worked hard, as they claim, why won't you come out and debate? He is asking. Thank you for that message. This one says, I have no confidence in the current leadership. Mahama, is this John Dramani Mahama going? Says, is this the way to talk by an ex-president of the Republic? But I expected everyone to have confidence, Charlotte says, EC, because he appointed her. No to JDM. Miftah send that from Tamale Central. Thank you for that message. And okay, I think my friend Positive Change Madina is here too. Well, I've read Positive Change already. So Frank King Solo of Setre East says the second coming of JDM, even the EC can't stop it. So those are just some of the messages you're sending to my WhatsApp platform. I'll read some more as we go along. Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Sena, and thanks for having me on the show. I'm honored to be here with Kwesi Pratt and my colleagues Kojo and Mujib. Before I go on, I'd like to give my condolences to the families of the people who lost their lives in the collapse of the church. I've been scanning to hear whether our president has said anything about it. That so far I haven't seen anything. So I give them my condolences. Now to the Electoral Commission. Our election is almost here. We have just this week of October and November, and we are going to the polls to choose a new president and elect members of parliament. But the signs that we've been seeing from the Electoral Commission have not been good so far. This Electoral Commission, led by Jean Mensah, has proven on so many occasions that she does not intend to be a fair referee. And I will not stop saying it. For an electoral commissioner who claimed that the old register was, filled with flaws, and hence we needed a new register, and insisted in the midst of COVID that people should go and line up when the whole world at that time was taking precautions to ensure that people do not spread the virus. This electoral commissioner and government closed their eyes and allowed Ghanaians to go out there and queue to register for a new register. First of all, the card that we have, I personally took it to the bank to go and do a transaction. The bank told me that the new card is not acceptable if I have the old card. Unfortunately, the old card had my old name, and I've done a change of name on my accounts. So I could not use my old card because it did not have my new name. And the new card, which we've spent 200 million, which we said was going to be the best, biometric, whatever you can think about, is not acceptable in banks because the banks can't read it. So I had to go home, get my passport, and come back. Including the Ghana card. The Ghana card is also not accepted in banks as ID. It is not verifiable. They can't read it. It can't be scanned. So that's besides the point. The point I'm making with that point, this bank issue, is the fact that the old register still holds more value for transactions than what we currently have. Now, this commissioner went ahead and did the register. She complained about double registration. She complained about ghost names. She complained about a lot of things. And between June and December, insisted that she could do a new register. That was good enough to take us into the election. As a party, we resisted. We went to court. The court was not on our side. The court is still not on our side. So she had her way. And she's always had her way whenever we took any issue to court. our hands were tied. We had to go according to what the court says and what the electoral commissioner wanted to do, because it was obvious that he was going to have a way. Whatever, we could shout at the high heavens and do whatever we wanted to do, but he was still going to have her way. So she did the register, and then there was the exhibition. What did we see during the exhibition? The same things that she complained about on the old register, for which Ghana government had to spend $200 million of taxpayers' money that could have been used to build infrastructure for school children. I see our little ones standing by the roadside begging, little babies, 3-4 years begging. That $200 million can be used to build something for those children, schools. We wasted it on a new register that we did not need. Gone. Then we realized that this register had double names, ghost names. You had female pictures with male names. And then the question you ask yourself, so the person who was registering that person, you see a female in front of you with a female picture, and then you write a male name. I mean, what is wrong with people? And then you had some that had 2 cards. There were double registration in the same register that she said she was going to do a register that could not have double registration. There were double issues of double registration in this. There issues of double registration in this new register. So it's a cause of concern. Now during the the exhibition, a constituency like Ashaman constituency came out with 22,000 names short. After the MP complained, they came back with another 14,000 names short. The MP said, look, there are still 7,000 names missing. They came back with 7,000 names missing. So within those 3 times that the complaints came, how did the Electoral Commission manufacture the register? Where did those 22 names go? How did they all of a sudden manufacture those names into the register? And as we speak, is everybody captured in the register? Those names that could not be found in the constituency in the north, 632 names were in the whole polling station. They were not in the register. And I do not understand how you use a computer to do something, and then you tell me that the computer could not capture or captures 2 or 3 more, especially when it comes to biometric. Because for instance, if you go to the American embassy or the British embassy and they take your fingerprints, it's there forever. I can't go twice with different name and then say that put my name, my finger there, my hands there, and it will not know that it's me. But in this registration process, we had issues of people registering double. The same thing that the Mensa said was in the old register is in the new register. So the defect has not been cured. In fact, the defect has gotten worse in this new register. And that is why our flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has said that we will not accept a flawed election. I took part in the second registration. I went on the first day, did my registration, went home, I was given a card. They took the picture, I was given a card. And then a week later, they said there was going to be the exhibition. So we went there for the exhibition. When I got there, they had printed a whole set of cards that, they were giving out. And I'm like, what's this card for? So he went through my name. I found my name in the register, all right. But they gave me a new card and said they had made a mistake on my polling station number. And so they had printed a new card for me. And as a well-thinking person, I asked myself, so if cards are being printed on our blind side, how many more cards have been printed that we do not know about? Are they registering minors? Are they putting in names that are not supposed to be put in? Because cards are being printed that we are not aware of. These are some of the issues that we are talking about. As at yesterday, transfer was going on, and I am aware that in the Bono region, one Charles Kwesi, is it free or something, was shot during the transfer process because I think he was trying to, resist some transfers that he think were not right. As at yesterday, there was some chaos in another polling station. The video is on social media right now as we speak, where police were brutalizing people who were doing their transfers. Now, my question, the issue I have now is with the police. This election is going to come on because we are almost set. But we all saw what happened in Ayawaso Wogo. That was like a test case. This government didn't do anything about it. We saw the people, we saw the perpetrators, we saw the people who engaged in those violence. They are on videos. Some of them are in national security now. These boys who were in the SWAT uniform, the brown ones, were part of the Delta group vigilante group of the MPP, who have now been employed into the national security, into the police service, into the army. So my plea to the police and to the army, you all have been employed to protect the integrity of Ghana, to ensure that Ghana remains stable and that the security is upheld in this country. So you need to make sure that as security agents, you serve honorably. We are aware that there are some bad ones amongst you. From the vigilante groups that MPP imported into those services, the militia group that were trained by the MPP in 2016 to cause mayhem during that election. So I'm just saying that as police people, you know the good ones amongst you. Do not allow them in December to wear your uniform to do bad things. That will bring discredit to the whole service. Some of you have served for very long and your integrity is at stake. So you know the bad ones. Do not allow them to cause mayhem and to cause confusion. Now, talking about this election once more. The MPP, my brother here was saying that we are happy because we picked number 2. Everybody saw how the balloting took place. Obviously, the MPP had been told that pick this one. So the guy went, searched for the one that, and he kept looking at one of their faces, the Electoral Commissioner's faces, and picked one. And our General Secretary protested, and they are now not happy with the position they picked because they wanted number 4 for 4 more to do more. The question is, your campaign slogan, 4 more to do more. 4 more to do what? Is that a campaign slogan? If you tell me 4 more to do more, I don't see what you have done in the 4 years. You promised to give every constituency $1 million a year. That has not been done. You promised to build a 1 district, 1 factory. You go around and pick people's factories, and then you give them money that they should say that that factory is one of your projects. So the unemployment rate is still very high because those factories have not been built. You promised to build 1 district, 1 dam. The minister in charge herself said that the money she had is not for dams, it's for dugouts. Those dugouts are even dry. So this is a government that came to power with a lot of promises and have since failed and neglected to ensure that those promises are kept. Now, they are going around. I remember when Baumia launched his tracker, they went round and put projects that were non-existent into the tracker, and it was normal citizens that came out and said these projects, including the housing project that they said they had built in Sisala, were all non-existent. This government, when they were in opposition, came to power based on deceit and lies, and in government they are still deceiving and lying to the people of Ghana. They tagged Mahama with incompetence. However, we see the highest form of incompetence from this government. What have they done with the $150 billion that they have taken as loan? Mahama took $53 billion, and I can tell you, off my hand like this, the projects that Mahama did with that money, 53. That's 1/3 of what MPP and Anado have taken. We built the Terminal 3, Ridge Hospital, Dodowa Hospital, District Hospital, roads, Think about it. We built a lot of stuff, and they are all there. The people know. Is it how many school buildings? Was it? There's always a controversy on
as to how many.
46
over
school
100
buildings
was started anyway.
Do you understand? So with 53 billion, 1/3 of what Nanado has taken, we have all these projects to show. Nanado cannot show us what he has done. However, their slogan is for more to do more. And I tell Ghanaians, listen, for more to do what? For more to appoint more family members, for more to appoint more friends. Look at what is happening at the airport with the COVID testing. The COVID testing has been given to one of their own. And as we speak, Parliament, the minority in Parliament have raised an issue that money that is being collected did not come to Parliament for parliamentary approval. And apparently, even the people who work at that testing, the people who have been employed by that Nigerian firm, they were insured by Enterprise Insurance, which is owned by Ken Oforiatta. So, do you want for more to just enrich just a few number of people, whilst the rest of the country suffer massively? And even in the MPP, you are shouting for more, for more. For more, once you suffer, you are in your single room. For more, once Nana Oforiatta and Co, they are there, enjoying and taking everything, trying to steal ECG, trying to steal our gold. They stop people from engaging in galamsey, yet they turned around and went in and did the galamsey themselves with the seized excavators they had taken from people and jailed people, put people in jail for galamsey. Is that what you want the four more to do more? Because I can tell you for sure that when they come, the four more, you will cry more than you are crying. Because they are still lying, they are still promising. Nanado has not built one hospital, but 6 months to election, promises to build 94 hospitals. Do you believe such a person? He is not credible. He has proven not to be credible. They cannot even talk about corruption anymore because they know what they have done. And like my brother Kojo said, we will come to corruption and then we will talk more about corruption. So 4 more to do what? 4 more to increase the list of presidential staffers. They enjoy them alone. 4 more to borrow more. As we speak, Ghana has gone HIPIC. The IMF has declared Ghana HIPIC. Where is Baumia? Let him come and talk again. So yes, we'll go to the election. And the NDC and John Mahama, we are very confident that we will win because the people of Ghana have seen the lies. They have seen through your lies and they know that everything that you promised, you did not intend to keep, and you are still promising and you are still lying. And that is why they will boot you out on 7 December.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just read a few messages so that the camera can be set on Mr. Pratt. Just briefly. I apologize. I can't afford that because Uncle Kosi will be taking an early leave. Ayu Farouk in Tamale is saying good morning. Okay, I think I've read Ayu Farouk. Koblavi Opokwasi Bengazi says that Ghanaians are asking President Akufo-Addo the whereabouts of the $1 million for each district, the COVID-19 money package, and the factories. Also, Hadim Pig Farm says you appointed 125 ministers to milk the country dry, and in so doing, you haven't achieved anything. You have turned Ghana into a Trojan horse. Nothing is going on. There's a clear difference between President Nana and former President, the humble JDM. 4 years ago, in time like this, JDM was commissioning projects, including most that the public had started using, and in 4 years, President Akufo-Addo is cutting short. Sorry, Mr. President, we the good people of Ghana are wise now. We don't need this game again. And Masola Kwabli, Ayawaso is constituency, says Mujib Rahman saying Ghanaians will give Akufo-Addo the mandate to continue his good works. Which of the good works is he talking about? Is he borrowing 140 billion without showing anything for it? Is it the family and friends he appointed into his elephantized government? Is it the missing of 6 seized excavators? Is it the heightened security we are witnessing under their super incompetent and less useful government? He continues. There's a lot more that is written, but unfortunately, my brother, that's all I can read. Musa Batu says, Sena, as 2020 elections is getting closer, I'll plead to Ghanaian people to consider their living conditions and future opportunities to vote for John Dramani Mahama. He is my choice, your choice, and everybody's choice. Voting for JM is voting for jobs and prosperity for all, not for a few. However, the conduct of this leaves much to be desired. The recent balloting has exposed their agenda and rigging plans, no matter the machinations they are planning to do. Let me end with Ambassador Sampieli. He's writing a couple. But let me just deal with this. Okay, it's been revealed that more of Nana's family members have become of age. So they want 4 more years to employ and enrich those people. It's still typing though. Mr. Pratt.
Well, Sena, first of all, I'd like to ask permission after my presentation. I have some engagements, and I'll be leaving immediately after my presentation. And because of that, I'd like to comment on all the 3 topics before I go very briefly. We have just a little over 40 days to the elections. And that should mean something for all the contestants in the elections and for the people of Ghana. The situation now means that we have very little time to correct mistakes. And that is why all of us have to be exceedingly careful and have to act with precision. This is the period in which I expect a lot of disinformation, knowing that disinformation will be very, very difficult to clear because we have, just a little time to the election. And already I see that happening on a very grand scale. Some of the political parties are deliberately twisting and distorting the messages of other political parties. I'm sure you have heard in this week that a number of party communicators have gone on air and stated very, very clearly that President John Dramani Mahama's message is that he should be allowed 4 years to come and correct his mistakes. That is deliberate. It's a deliberate distortion of his message. It's a deliberate distortion of his message because those who are doing that know that we have just a little over 40 days to the main elections. You understand? So I think that party communicators, those who craft messages and so on, should be on top of their job. And they should be able to respond to these distortions as quickly as possible before they stick. I'm expecting a lot of disinformation between now and the elections. And we all have to be vigilant. Now, strangely, this week, there are many, many people who are coming on air and saying that, if you lose elections, simply go to court. As if going to court is the only remedy. But don't worry about flawed elections and so on. If the elections are flawed, simply go to court. There are many people who are coming forward and saying that, don't demonstrate. When the politicians call upon you to demonstrate, don't mind them. Because their children don't demonstrate. If they call on you to demonstrate, let their family members lead the demonstration and so on. I mean, this is really incredible. Knowing where this message is coming from. Today, masters of demonstrations are calling on people not to demonstrate. What have they seen? Are they condemning their past? Or is it because they know that something is going to happen which will call the people onto the streets? And the fear of the power of the people is what is haunting them. Why are we demobilizing the people when we should be mobilizing the people in an election year? There must be a reason why all of a sudden some of our countrymen and women have realized that demonstrations are no good at all. And indeed, what is interesting for me is that these are the people who pretend to defend the Constitution. These are the people who say that they believe in the rule of law. These are the people who say that the rights of the people must be protected. They forget that the right to demonstrate is clearly stated in the 1992 Constitution. Indeed, the right to demonstrate is an unfettered right in the 1992 Constitution. The fetters which have been provided, notifying the police ahead of demonstrations and so on, were all introduced by Parliament. The fundamental law of the land itself says that all citizens have a right to demonstrate. And the right to demonstrate is not inferior to the right to free speech or the right to free association and so on. People of this country have a right to express themselves when they disagree with governments, when they disagree with constitutional and state institutions like the Electoral Commission. And this propaganda is deliberately aimed at subverting the right of the people to free expression. And it won't work. Why? The people of Ghana understand very clearly that one of the means, and I mean it, one of the means, not the only means, one of the means of changing governments, changing their leaders, is through elections. And if the elections are flawed, national sovereignty is damaged, is devalued, and so on. And nobody, whether they are in MPP, whether they are in CPP, PNC, or whatever, should allow any group of people to undermine national sovereignty by organizing flawed elections or by cheating in elections. It must not happen. We must also understand very clearly that the basic laws of Ghana guarantee the right to self-defense. We cannot compromise on the right to self-defense. We are told that if we go to the polling stations on December 7th and we are attacked by hooligans and hoodlums and so on, we should simply fold our arms and allow the police, state security agencies to act. That is another huge attempt to subvert the right to self-defense. The right to self-defense is enshrined in the laws of this country, and it is aimed at affording everybody the opportunity to defend themselves against hoodlums and hooligans. Sena, if I go to vote in the elections, I'm in a queue. I'm standing in the polling station, and I see somebody coming at me with a warmer flu. I'm not going to allow the guy to crack my head and kill me in the hope that the matter will go to court. Especially as we all do know that these hooligans, these hoodlums, are protected. What happened to those hooligans who attacked a court in Kumasi? What happened to them? What happens to the hoodlums who caused mayhem in the Yawasu West Wogon constituency? What happened to them? How many of them have been successfully prosecuted? What happened to them? So even if I'm foolish enough to think that after my death, if people are prosecuted, it is enough compensation for my life. If I'm foolish enough to think that, it doesn't happen in our country. It has never happened over some period of time. And I'm not going to delude myself that the state machinery would give me justice by dependence on my family justice after I've been killed. Indeed, if anybody attacks me in the course of this election, I will defend myself. And every and any Ghanaian is entitled to self-defense in this situation. So those who are planning to go to polling stations with pepper sprays and guns and so on must understand very clearly that it will not be easy for them. I am not saying that people should go to the polling stations with knives and sticks and pepper spray. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that people simply have a right to defend themselves. Look, then we are told again that, the state security agencies are available to offer us protection. They are there to defend us and so on. I'm not a fool. If I was a fool some time ago, I've become wiser today. State security agencies in our circumstances to protect us, I don't have enough evidence of that commitment. I don't have enough evidence of that commitment. Why? What happened at Ayawasu West Wogo? The people who caused the mayhem, were they not masquerading as state security agents? What did the police do? What did the soldiers who were on the spot do? What did our Electoral Commission do? Our Electoral Commission, which has responsibility for security as polling stations. What did they do? The Electoral Commission issued an official statement and said nothing happened at the polling stations. When all of us could see these masked armed hoodlums shooting to maim, beating MPs and so on, the Electoral Commission's response was that nothing happened at the polling stations. Indeed, when government set up the short commission to investigate what happened at Ayawasu West Wogon, what happened? What was the white paper which was issued by government? What did it say? And so on. So don't let anybody delude himself or herself that the state apparatus is committed to a defense in this election. I will not be that foolish. And I know that there are many Ghanaians who will not be that foolish and who would ensure that they will cast their ballot in peace and return home in peace, and who would ensure that the results which are declared will reflect their will. If this is not done, let whatever will happen to uphold the Constitution of the Republic, let it happen. If we cannot have peaceful elections, if we cannot have genuine elections which expresses the sovereign will of our people, of course, we will all live with the repercussions of that foolhardiness. And this is clear. One of the things that worries me at this time, when we have just a little over 40 days to an election, is the massive display of superstition by this nation's leaders. I mean, the display of superstition by these nation's leaders worries me a great deal, because it tells me that nothing would happen in order to alleviate the suffering of the vast majority of our people. Listen to our leaders. Listen to our leaders jubilating and crying over numbers. Yes, we are number one, so we have won already. We are number two, so that. We are number three, and therefore so, and so forth. This is extreme foolishness. It's so extremely foolish that I can't believe that the leaders of any country would do that. My brother, check our history from 1992. How many times have people not been number one on the slot and lost the elections? How many times have people not been on number two and lost the elections? How many times have people not been on number three and lost the elections, and so on? So where is this foolishness coming from? Extreme foolishness. Where is it coming from? You know, if our leaders respect us, they would not be engaging in this stupid dream of superstition. It is because they have no respect for us. They think that whatever they tell us, we will take it and run with. So they tell us all kinds of cock and bull stories and so on. What is number two? What is number one? And so on. What does it mean? The people of this country are going for an election on December 7th. The people of this country think that that election will be meaningful only to the extent that it provides potable water for our people. Our people want potable water to drink, to bath, to cook with, and so on. That is what we want. That should be the outcome of this election. We expect that whoever wins on December 7th will reform our education, our educational institutions, will change the curriculum of education and so on to make education meaningful and relevant to our development. We want to get to a new situation where those who make educational policy will send their children to Ghanaian schools. Right now, you have a situation where everybody who is anybody in our society is avoiding Ghanaian public schools like a plague. The best you can get is when they send their children to international schools where the fees are paid in dollars and pounds, where poor people are excluded. Many of them are sending their children to schools abroad and so on. The question we should be asking, if they are confident in what they are building for us, if they have any confidence in what they are building for us, why don't they send their children to those schools? If those schools are good for all of us, then their children must also go to those schools. But they build the systems and they run away from the systems. We don't want that to happen. And that's why we are voting on December 7th. They claim to be building hospitals for us. They claim to be doing their best to improve health infrastructure and so on. And yet, anytime they are afflicted by diseases which are even curable here, they fly to the Cromwell Hospital for treatment. If what they are building for us is good, let them also go to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Let them go to the 37 Teaching Hospital. Let them go to the Mamobi Polyclinic. They know that what they are building for us is bad. It's horrible. It will kill us. So they run away from it. These are the issues we want addressed. The people of Ghana want to know what the next government is going to do about a situation in which the people of Ghana get only 2% of the value of gold that is exploited from our country. That's what we want to know. We don't care whether you are number 1 or number 13. It means nothing to us. If in the final analysis, we are still getting 2% of the total value of gold which is exploited from our society. You understand? So these are the things that we should be focusing attention on. Look, there's this debate about Okada. And I've been very careful, watching very, very, coolly from outside. Master, the distortions in the debate are frightening. The Okada riders are being promised that rather than legalize, the Okada operations, they will be regulated. My first question is, how do you regulate something which is illegal? Does it make sense to regulate something which is illegal? It doesn't. And then we are being told that rather than be Okada riders, you'll be turned into taxi drivers. We are going to give you cars and so on. Complete misunderstanding of the Okada business. Check. Okada riders make on average 3,000 Ghana cedis every month. How many taxi drivers are able to make 3,000 Ghana cedis a month? They make on the average 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. Many taxi drivers are not able to make their daily sales. Go and talk to them, they will tell you. You understand? And then we are told that rather than legalize Okada, they should be given training so that the education will be upgraded so that they will have skills and so on. Again, a total misunderstanding of the business. I have checked. Some of those Okada riders are university graduates. They are not Okada riders because they don't have education. Indeed, last week, I interviewed the public relations officer of the National Okada Riders Association. He's a trained teacher. I have spoken to Okada riders who have master's degrees. The problem is that they have no jobs. They have no jobs. You understand? So these promises of taking them to school so they can learn to become carpenters and masons and bookkeepers and so on is so unrealistic. And it only betrays the fact that those who are making these arguments have no understanding of the Okada business. My brother, one more thing. The impression is created that all Okada riders are young people from the slums and so on. You understand? That's the impression which is created. It is again false. I've done my check and I want anybody to challenge me. There are Okada riders who are above 50 years 50 years old. Indeed, I've been told that there's an Okada rider who is 70 years old. People who have retired from public service and so on, who have nothing to do, are resorting to Okada riding. And indeed, for those who want to replace motorbikes with cars, if you go to the rural areas, you understand, where would those cars be plying? Because we know that the Okada business is thriving in the rural areas simply because there are no paved roads in many parts of this country. No car can go there, that's why the motorbikes go there. So if there are no paved roads and you go and provide cars, what, are you going to provide flying cars? Cars which will fly in the skies and land where they have to go or what? There are no paved roads. And in fact, my brother Mujib knows that better than I do. That in many places, these Okada riders have become useful because there are no paved roads at all. You understand? And then there is something else. Since this Okada promise was made, no day passes without a section of the media displaying accidents involving motorbikes. Every motorbike rider today has become an Okada rider. So any motorbike which gets an accident is Okada. And anybody who is talking for Okada riders and so on wants us to kill ourselves on motorbikes and so on. What rubbish is that? What rubbish is that? And it's being deliberately done. You know, we are feeding the electorate with false information simply because we want to win an election. That is not the way for statesmen, for responsible citizens, for people who love our country to win elections. That is not the way. The way to win elections genuinely, the way that people who love their country win elections, is to encourage debate about the options which are available to us, to show us what in their minds are better than others and so on. This gimmick and so on is insulting to the electorate and it ought to stop. Master, we have just a little over 40 days to December 7th, when all of us are called upon to make our choices. So, this election, to quote His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is like no other election. Since the Republic of Ghana was born on 6 March 1957, we have never had an election like this one. It's a unique election. It's a very special election. And that is how we have to approach the tax of December 7th, 2020. Now we are approaching this election also at a time when we are in very unique circumstances. Our very unique circumstances make this election special. Sena, let's turn our attention to the state of the national economy. And I'm not the one who is saying it. The Deputy Minister of Finance, Boy, told the Daily Graphic that as at now, we are spending three quarters of total national revenue plus grants on debt servicing and principal repayments. Are you not worried? Shouldn't we be frightened about the state of the national economy? What this simply means is that if we don't borrow massively next year, we cannot. Huge hole in the economy. How do we pay workers from next year? Is this the buoyant economy? I'm frightened. Because if we can't get money just to pay salaries, emoluments, public sector emoluments, how can we get money to fix the roads, which are so vital from transporting food from the rural areas to the urban centers in order to give farmers an assured income. In order to ensure that food prices do not escalate. How do we do that? How do we improve educational infrastructure? How do we improve our health infrastructure? How do we do all the things that we have to do when this is the state of the national economy? In less than 4 years, we have borrowed about 150 billion Ghana cedis in less than 4 years. If this trend continues in another 4 years, what will be the state of our economy? What will be the state of our economy? How would we survive? Something has to change. Something radical ought to occur. If it doesn't occur, then we are in deep, deep trouble. That is why the December 7th election is so very crucial and important. Because we have to change direction. Because we cannot continue doing the things that we have done since February 24th, 1966. We have to change direction. And that is why we expect the leaders of the parties, that is why we expect the various contestants in this election to stop this reckless and useless game of superstition about numbers and so on, and to discuss with us concrete plans and projects for reviving the national economy, for focusing attention on development and so on. I am highly disappointed in many of the players on the political scene. Look, all of us as Ghanaians have responsibilities for ensuring that the elections on December 7, 2020 will be free, will be fair, and will be transparent. And when I say all of us, I mean all of us. I mean the unemployed, I mean the peasant farmer, I mean all the working people, I mean those in the security services, the police, the army, and so on. I mean prison warders. I mean people in immigration services and so on. We all have a responsibility to ensure that these elections will be free, will be transparent, and will be fair. What are some of the things that we can do? If you are an immigration officer and hoodlums are brought to you to issue them with uniforms to act in the name of your organization, speak out. Speak out, speak the truth. Stand up for your country. Refuse those orders. Because those are illegal orders. And they are orders meant to subvert the 1992 Constitution. If you are a soldier and in your unit, hooligans are brought and put in uniforms to subvert the elections, please don't agree. Speak out. At least speak out. Speak the truth. If you are a policeman and you are being misused to subvert the 1992 Constitution, the Constitution itself says that you have a duty to protect it against the usurpers. Those of you in the security services have a bigger responsibility than the rest of us. And you have a bigger responsibility than the rest of us because of the responsibilities that have been imposed upon you by the very Constitution that we want to uphold in the December 7th elections. You have a bigger responsibility because you are those who are trained to safeguard national security. You are those who are deliberately employed to make sure that no hanky-panky games occur in elections. You are those who are entrusted with responsibility for protecting my rights as a citizen and so on. Please don't fail us. Don't fail us on December 7th. Because failure to uphold the Constitution, Failure to ensure that this election will be free and fair and transparent. Failure to ensure that the sovereign will of the people of Ghana will be expressed can have very disastrous consequences. All of us want a peaceful country. All of us wish that at the end of this election, whoever is declared the winner will represent the wish of the Ghanaian people, and that all of us will be proud to endorse that decision and to assist whoever is declared winner to carry out his lawful duties. Indeed, sometimes I think that who wins the election is not as important as the processes leading to the victory. The most important thing is that it must be an expression of the sovereign will of our people. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. You know, sometimes we are told that the Electoral Commission should not be criticized. That we should all sit down like gaping sycophants and not to everything that the Electoral Commission, says and does. That is not possible. That is not possible because of all the things we are seeing today. That is not possible because in spite of what happened at the Ayawaso West War, this Electoral Commission told us that everything was fine. And we know that everything was not fine. So we cannot believe that. That is not possible because you have members of the commission during a referendum actually urging people to vote yes. That is not possible because a member of the commission can publicly make a declaration that one political party which is contesting the elections which they are supervising is a danger to Ghana's democracy. And if you can do that, what can't you do? And so on. So, I know what I'm saying. And I'm saying everything deliberately. We will have peaceful, transparent, and fair elections on December 7th. We will have peaceful, transparent, and fair elections on December 7th. Elections that we can all live by. And if there are any dreamers, who think that the opposite will happen, let them get ready. Because they would not be allowed to have their way. They will never be allowed to have their way. So now the other issue we are supposed to be discussing is the report that the board of the audit service has appointed some auditors to investigate the foreign travels of the Auditor General. There is a clear violation of the 1992 Constitution. The 1992 Constitution is clear that the Auditor General can only be audited by auditors appointed by the Parliament of the Republic. That's clear. I've heard some people say that why are people complaining about audit? That the Auditor General's business is to audit. And the Auditor General is being praised for doing correct audit and so on. And therefore, there's nothing wrong with the Auditor General being audited. What lopsided thinking is that? What does the Constitution say? The Constitution is clear that only Parliament can appoint auditors to investigate or to audit the Auditor General. And we should go by what the Constitution says. With regards to what is happening in Nigeria, I would simply say that I'm getting increasingly disappointed in the ECOWAS leadership. The ECOWAS leadership has failed us on many occasions and it is continuing to fail us now. The security situation in West Africa is frightening. We have all these Islamic insurgencies in Mali, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, and so on. And it is spreading downwards. If you go to Nigeria, which is the most populous nation in West Africa, Nigeria has a population of more than 200 million people in West Africa. Ghana is only second to Nigeria with a population of about 30 million and so on. Whatever happens in Nigeria will have ripple effects throughout the continent, especially West Africa. And you have a situation where in Nigeria already, Nigeria is riddled with insecurity. You have the low-level civil war in the Niger Delta area. You have the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast. You have the emerging clash between Sunnis and Shias in parts of the north and so on, around the imprisonment of Sheikh Zazaki and so on. And now, you have this situation of civil unrest. And you have this situation of official recklessness, putting up CCTV cameras, putting up street lights and so on, and ordering soldiers to shoot at an armed civilians and so on. This portends danger for the whole of West Africa. And what I expect West African leaders to do is to speak to their counterpart and to tell him in the face that what is happening in Nigeria can destabilize the whole of the region. Rather than making excuses for the Buhari regime. The president of ECOWAS in his statement, you saw what he wrote, that he has spoken to the president of Nigeria and the president of Nigeria has assured him that SARS will be disbanded, and so what? How does that address the fundamental problems in Nigeria which has brought people onto the streets of Nigeria? And we are not just talking about Nigeria, we are also talking about La Côte d'Ivoire, where Alassane Ouattara has broken chains and is completely misbehaving. Tonton Marcus was sent onto the university campus in Abidjan. The students mobilized and 4 of the vigilantes were killed. Yesterday, state property was on fire in Abidjan and so on. And we are just sitting down, you know, and even when we talk, we tend to give inspiration to Alassane Ouattara to continue with his recklessness, absolute recklessness and so on. Fire has begun burning in Nigeria. Fire is burning in La Côte d'Ivoire. And I think it's important for us to go back to the old, is it proverb or adage? When your neighbor's beard is on fire, rush and put your whole head in a bucket of water. We should be careful. The Arab Spring started this same way and spread across North Africa. We should be careful. The masses are getting awake. And the masses will demand what is theirs. The masses are asking for change. The masses want to see the building of a new society based on the foundations of deeper democracy and social justice. No force can stop the masses when they are organized and determined. Thank you, Sena.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Pratt. Of course, one of the places that people are paying attention to now is also Guinea, where an 82-year president wants 6 years more. But we will take a short break. When we come back, I'll read your messages and then we'll do the other topics. A big thank you to Mr. Pratt. He takes a leave of us now. Yeah.
I go kill you with enjoyment.
10 years of rewarding radio and television excellence. 10 years of rewarding excellent voices and personalities. 10 years of providing quality entertainment. RTP Awards, it's 10 years. The excitement is back. The 10th Adonko RTP Awards hitting the Kempinski Hotel live on the 7th of November 2020, coupled with spectacular performances. Time 6 p.m. The Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Hand Sanitizer, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Jimre Estates, Bio Litigation Freelance, Vena Mineral Water, Your Lifestyle, Dofu Roofing Systems, Yas Tissues, Special Drinks, Jerigate Fashion House, Papa's Pizza, Axis Shipping, 247 Zara Boutique, A to Z Auto Services, Sumisura by Abdul, a step ahead in tailoring. The 10th Adonko RTP Awards is a black tie event. Attendance is by invitation. For Pan-African TV to win more awards, vote for us now. For Alhaji and Alhaji to win Television Current Affairs Program of the Year Award, dial star 447 star 111 hash, select RTP Alhaji and Alhaji to vote. Or you can log on to rtpawardsafrica.com, select RTP Alhaji and Alhaji to vote.
I go
Morning is an important time of the day because how you spend your morning can often tell you what kind of day you're going to have. I want you to have a great day. So start your day with me because I can guarantee a great show every weekday on Good Morning Africa right here on Pan-African Television. I will be serving some inspiration, news, business, health, newspaper review, music, and so much more. Join me, Kwame Owusu Danso on Good Morning Africa on Pan-African Television. Let's have a truly African morning. Medasi.
Hello, what are you doing Tuesday to Friday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. every day? You should be watching The Couch. I'll tell you why. On Tuesdays, we talk social issues, lifestyle, health, all those everyday issues that affect us in the big ways. Late Wednesdays are for book reviews. Thursdays are for the hard talk, those socio-economic, policy-oriented, political questions that demand for the tough questions to be asked. Our personality profiling Fridays, when we get to know the stories behind the winning personalities we love. Inspirational story from inspirational personalities. Hey, listen, you really cannot miss The Couch with me, Amma, but still, the only TV show with a hat.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great song, Sajifo Dr. Nkrumah.
And welcome back from that break. Thank you very much for staying tuned to No Matter What talk shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. And we are still live here in the studios. The debate was still ongoing whilst Mr. Pratt has taken a leave of us. We'll deal with the issue of the Auditor General. The board chair of the Audit Service has actually appointed a company that's supposed to audit the Auditor General's travels when the Constitution says something else. Well, let me just go through a few of your messages that you're sending through our WhatsApp platform. Kwame in Nkoko says, and I am irritated by the behavior and utterances of some of our chiefs by praising a government that has borrowed so much and has over 125 ministers. Are they seeing something that we have not seen? Some leaders, indeed. Well, this one says, please ask Kwesi Pratt to tell us who is paying for the monies being borrowed by the previous administration. It seems to know about debt servicing. This one says, Mr. Pratt is always a doomsday mongering for Ghana's downfall since Akufo-Addo took office. Even under Mahama, Ghana survived how much more this development-oriented government. Okada is not a profession of choice. Stop the cheap and simplistic vibes. Let's think big. Ghana is moving forward. Atukwe sent that from Kaneshi. This one's Uncle Kwesi has spoken. The current Electoral Commission has clearly shown that she is in bed with the current government. We should raise as citizens and resist any oppression. JDM, our next president. Thank you, Uncle Kwesi, for the information. Send that from Kaswa. Thank you very much, Eben, for that message. This one says, Mr. Price, worry not. We security officers know how to play the game and play it well. Thank you for that message. David Lakeside says, good morning. In fact, Nanado is very less in government, so he must leave. Do you know that Ghana's debt to GDP is to hit 76.6% in December, which is more than his peak level? But most journalists refuse to talk about it. This one, okay, I think this is very, let me see which one I can read. Uncle Kwesi, how many times have you not explained the implications behind superstition to politicians, as well as even some respected pastors and other big men in our society? Number 1, 2, 3, etc. does not win elections. Having effective strategies, working hard to educate party members and voting wisely is already explained by one of the most respected kings, His Excellency the Asantini. Whichever party waits on numbers to win, Uncle Kwesi, let me borrow your word that party will see her. Forgotten your other phrase, don't waste your breath on their superstitions. May our omnipotent God continue enriching you with wisdom, faith, love, and courage to be educating us from time to time. Those are just some of the messages you're sending. You're sending several more. Well, this one says, I don't know why most paid media houses continue to praise Akufo-Addo's wicked government. I was listening to one is it a TV station based in Kumasi and radio stations this morning, and the host was clearly advertising for MPP, whilst they themselves know MPP has done nothing better for we the Ghanaians except free SHS flashy policy. So those are some of the messages you are sending through. A big thank you. Keep them coming. My name is Sena Nombo. We are still here. The Mother of All Talk Shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. We are here till 12. And let me just quickly tell you that Mr. Kujuchumbu, I think when I was introduced initially, I missed him because he was not here. He is the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Free Zones Board, a former Executive Secretary of the Ghana Free Zones Board. Mujib Rahman is a member of the communications team of the New Patriotic Party. And then Ambassador Zita Benson is also with us, former Ghana's ambassador to the Czech Republic. I'll start this time with Kojo Chumbo on the issue of the government's commitment to fight corruption as exhibited in what is happening at the Auditor General's Department.
Sena, this government's attempt, or let me say a penchant, to turn every, not just constitutional norms, but conventional norms that we have in this country, including embeds in our constitution. And there's a lawyer here, so maybe she can correct me if I go wrong. At least everybody knows Zita's classmates. We know she didn't graduate on Sunday. So, yeah. Mujib, if you like, you can go. Mujib, if you like, you can go and report to me. Mujib, I say if you like. Mujib, can you stop? Please, stop.
No, I'm only correcting you.
Maybe if you like, go and report. If you like, go. If you like, you go and report.
Noted. Please go on.
They have meat.
Have you finished? Can I talk? Okay, thank you. So this government telegraphed how they were going to govern vis-a-vis what was right and what was wrong. They made no secret of the fact that they were going to get rid of every single NDC appointee, no matter whether they had security of tenure within the constitution or not. So they targeted the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Charlotte Osei, came up with fictitious and bogus petitions against her. Remember the first petition that was written against Madam Charlotte Osei was written by a first cousin of Akufo-Addo, which they quickly withdrew and reproduced the same thing by somebody from the north. Same thing, same language, same thing. Somebody from the north now brought the petition that had been written by one of Akufo-Addo's first cousins. Needless to say, they found a way of removing Madame Charlotte Osei for incompetence. Then they proceeded to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, whom they subsequently removed. And what they said, they told him that the president said he cannot work with you. Well, our constitution does not give the president of this republic the right to decide who he can and cannot work with. The constitution says certain people have security of tenure. So when you come into power, you work with them. And indeed, it is a mark of your commitment to transparency if the Auditor General you come to find is somebody that you didn't even appoint. Because this is a man who claimed that he was going to be transparent. And indeed, if you wanted to be corrupt, then his government was not the place to be. Today, I say they are so corrupt that they are buying discotheques. That's the level to which they have sunk. Appointees of this president, assigns of this president, are busy buying discos. That is how low they have sunk. With this Auditor General, they sought to remove him a long time ago. They tried once, and they were told by certain foreign embassies not to attempt what they were doing, because they had just managed to get rid of Madame Charlotte Osei. So after hounding him and hounding him and hounding him, because he said he was going to audit the things they were doing nonetheless, they said he should go and leave. Then when he protested, they added more leave to his leave. But for me, I fought the Auditor General himself, because he should never have proceeded on leave. It is unheard of. The MPP came with a precedent that the previous Auditor General, who happens now to be the chair of the board of the current Auditor General, had been asked to go on leave prior to retirement. Go on leave prior to retirement. What is the big deal about it? Take your terminal leave, because you are supposed to go on retirement. How can that be the same as just go on leave because I'm instructing you to go on leave because you were investigating something that this government didn't like, i.e. the Crow matter? It had got into court. Subsequent to the man being going on forced leave, in fact, the day after he went on forced leave, his deputy wrote to the government and gave them exactly what they wanted. The day after he left. The day after he left. What was his name? Johnson Ekuamwa, or whatever his name is. He just does that. This government's commitment to thievery is well known. They will steal anything they can lay their hands on. They have absolutely no qualms about engaging in low loader behavior. they have absolutely no qualms in making sure that whatever it is they want to do, they do. They are brazen. They don't give a hoot about what anybody thinks. But at the end of the day, in a few days' time, Ghanaians will render a decision on them. This is a government that came into power. Before they came into power, they criticized President Mahama for having one person who is his extended relation, Madam Joyce Bauer, in his government. The president has six, and I say 6 very close relatives in his cabinet. 6. At the last count, he has over 65 direct relations, including his daughter, in government. He criticized President Mahama for having 87 ministers. He has 129. And when he was confronted with it, he said it is a brouhaha. Whatever that means. This is a president who criticized President Mahama for insecurity in this country. And yet, as soon as he came to power, he introduced all his vigilantes into the police service. At least, I won't talk about the army because I haven't seen it. But as for the police service, and the national security, we saw them. How did we see them? During the Ayawaso West Wagon matter, they were riding in the same SWAT vehicle as DSP Azugu. After they did what they did during the inquiry, and mind you, the 3 people who superintended the inquiry can by no means be called MPP people, NDC people. The 3 of them, all top lawyers in this country. One of them a former police IGP, former IGP, very consummate IGP. One of them a former Shraj commissioner, one a current Supreme Court judge, and they can by no means be called NDC. They said that some people should be prosecuted. And the president said they don't agree. The person who was supposed to be prosecuted admitted that he had only had 3 weeks training, that he used to sell phones at Circle. And after 3 weeks, he had graduated in going to slap an MP. And the president said he doesn't agree. He's been provoked. So this is how these people have turned the rule of law on its head. Some people some of their Delta forces, after assaulting a district dissect boss, were arrested, put in jail, on remand, and sent to court. Others went into the court, beat up a pregnant judge, and freed them. When the matter came to be discussed, an MP sat in his TV studio and swore to the heavens that if anything happened to those people, he will reveal how the MPP won elections. And lo and behold, nothing happened. They said they should go and beg. So they went to beg. And guess what? Nothing happened. Even the judge refused to identify them. The judge refused to identify them. What a shock. Can you imagine if this had happened under President Mahama? Sena, the judge didn't identify, couldn't tell the people who assaulted her. So the state came and changed the charges, not only prosecute, because they couldn't identify the people, so they left them. People who kidnapped foreigners and were identified with a certain political party, all of a sudden, after they had been arrested, they were released. And yet, Sami Jemfi, our national communication officer, was supposed to have put something that was false on his Facebook page. So he was arrested Gestapo style in front of the studios of a radio station and charged with whatever it is they charged him with. Up to today, the case hasn't gone anywhere. As we speak, our national chairman is on trial because they say his voice was captured in a recording threatening the EC chair. As we speak now, they say the voice has been authenticated in something. We're in this country when a person who is a current member of government threatened the police, the army, in a voice, the bad boys, all kinds of things were said about the hierarchy of the military. As we speak today, nothing. We were in this country when the finance minister wrote a letter to the CID. The current finance minister wrote a letter to the CID that the people who had taken over the electricity corporation had bought a fraudulent guarantee. Therefore, the acquisition of our electricity company, our 22 billion CD asset, was fake. As we speak now, nothing. An MP threatened Sami Jemfi on television, threatened to do harm to him. Sami Jemfi's lawyers filed a complaint to the CID. As we speak today, no response. So this government do not give a crap about the rule of law. They don't respect the rule of law. They don't respect anything. They do exactly what they want to do. And they will continue doing it until the people of Ghana show them the exit. But even then, they have done anything and everything, including changing the register, stopping West from registering, stopping NDC people in NDC constituencies from registering, challenging our parliamentary candidates, even fabricating all kinds of things against people that they think may cost them seats. But you see, people who do this do not read their history books. Right? Attila the Hun conquered the whole of Europe. The night after he conquered the whole of Europe, his girlfriend killed him, poisoned him. Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Hannibal, Napoleon conquered the whole of Europe as we know it and got to the outskirts of Russia, and the winter beat him. Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, General Franco. Should I go home? Where are they now? Where are they now? Adolf Hitler declared a 1,000-year Reich in Germany. How long did the Reich last? 12 years. You see, life as we know it is transitory and transient. Where's Mobutu? Where's Idi Amin? Where's apartheid? Where's the British Empire? Where is it? So, let the MPP do whatever they like. Let them do whatever they like. Let them buy all the nightclubs in Accra. Let them buy all the properties in Accra and launder all the money they want to launder. You see, Sena, we are all sitting here and I'm going to give you a simple analogy. Whatever the size of the bed that is in your bedroom, you can have a king size bed, you can have a queen size, you can have whatever super king size. Which part of it do you sleep on at night when you sleep? How much of it do you sleep on? How much of it do you sleep on? How many homes can you sleep in every night? So you have 1,000 homes. So you have somebody boasted that he has 200 homes in Accra. How many do you sleep on? How many do you sleep in? That you have 1,000,001 girlfriends. How many of them can you sleep with a night? Whilst you are gone, somebody else is enjoying the work of your labor. Oh, Sita, why are you laughing? That is true. Some of us guys, we think we are tough guys. We have the chicks all over the place. When you are gone, then some small boys is doing you OG. You see, that's on the lighter side. So me, as a human being, I understand my limitations. And everyone should understand that there is a limit to what you can do. And one fine day, there will be a day of accounting. Look, this business of auditing the Auditor General's travels is a tried and tested modus operandi that they use. That's what they did to me. I was at Yoko 32 times. 32 times. Right? I was the board or the chief executive of Free Zones for 8 years. They investigated, got to a point they said they were investigating my travels. So I could go and sit at Yoko. I said I went there for 32 times. But I'm still sitting here.
Have you related?
I don't know. They may call me again. I'm glad you are saying it. Maybe tomorrow morning.
2 times is not enough.
More. Thank you.
You have extended.
Thank you. They could call me again. I'll go again. But don't worry. One fine day, Mujib, maybe I'll be the person sitting at Yoko, and then I'll call you. And I'm guaranteeing you that I will call you more than 32 times. Or maybe I'll give you about 35.
That's why.
Because I want you to break the record.
I want you to be 49.
That is the reason why when we are in government, you do the right thing and blaze the right kind of truth and not set bad precedents. Because I don't know how anybody is going to convince the next NDC government that, for example, people in the NDC should not agitate that the Electoral Commission be changed. And that anytime anybody goes to write a 1-paragraph petition, she's incompetent. I don't know how anybody, with the machinations that are going on, the MPP want to change the Auditor General. They want to impose an Auditor General of their choice so that they can get away with their criminality. They don't want to be audited. So I don't know how in a subsequent government somebody is also not going to write a petition and say whoever it is has not been on leave since they joined the public service when they were 25. So they should go on leave. Because what they do is use bad precedent. I don't know how anybody from now until eternity can criticize anybody who becomes a president that they are using their friends and family and putting them in government. I don't know how anybody. President Mahama has 19 siblings. How many of them were in government? Why? He doesn't have first cousins. He doesn't have first cousins. He doesn't have what do you call it, brothers and sisters. And these people, when you ask them, they say they are qualified.
The rest of us are not.
They have come into government, they have not done anything. Like I was saying, they borrowed 170 billion. President Mahama, with the 50-something billion that he borrowed, if you don't want to talk about anything President Mahama has done, let's just talk about UGMC. Because but for UGMC, all the cabinet ministers in this town will be dead. They will all be dead. Because when they all caught COVID, that is when. Meanwhile, when they came to power, they even refused to commission the hospital. They said there were no generators there. President Mahama builds the airport terminal 3. Instead of commissioning it and using it properly, what they did is they gave the concessions to themselves, refused to commission the airport. They have sold the airport to Turkish aviation, and now to add insult to injury, they are profiting from a pandemic.
Okay.
So now let me just round up.
Thank you.
They are profiting from something as terrible as COVID by imposing $150 for a test that at the best costs $57, and that is at Tampa General Airport. Places it costs $28. They have given that contract to a foreigner who has established a company that was registered abroad in June 2020. Frontier Healthcare. As we speak today, every passenger who comes in now has to pay by credit card abroad so that the money can go into their offshore accounts without any semblance of accountability, because the government cannot know how much money has gone into those accounts.
Okay.
This is the state of play that we have in this country.
Okay.
So when it comes to accountability, this government doesn't want to be accountable for anything.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Baba Musa says Nana Akufo-Addo could not condemn President Buhari regarding the military brutalities in Nigeria against peaceful demonstrators because Akufo-Addo and Buhari are apart from their age similarities, have many things in common, and they are said to be friends. Akufo-Addo is not only a failed president of Ghana, but a failed ECOWAS chair as well. It will be a great form of injustice that Ghanaians will inflict them on themselves if Akufo-Addo is mistakenly retained. GM is the surest bet for Ghana. GM number 2 on the ballot. I trust GM. Sape Agbo says Mujib is just mimicking his party leader, Mr. Lomote, by refusing to acknowledge the obvious. They either don't hear, see, or are misled. Again says it's happening again. The powers that be won't. Okay. We apologize for that. Dennis Yakwete said the hard truth is that MPP itself had discovered that the attempt of robbing Mother Ghana using free SHS as a cover-up will be punished at the December polls, and is doing everything possible to escape that wrath, but they lie bad. 4 more may even lead to the privatization of the Flagstaff House before the end of the 4 years if Ghanaians repeat the 2016 mistake. As the difference is now clear, it is GM. Shalom. Nalamle Odatilamte says, wisdom is talking. We know them. We are wise now. Radio station. We do not care what they say or bring. Nanado debate is awaiting you. Sape Agbo again says, is anyone surprised at the intensity of false misleading information by the MPP? This party is a master of propaganda led by the chief propagandist in the mold of Goebbels. Thank you. So Vanas Udogu Beans says, good morning, and says, please tell Mujib that he can be a SAS member, but we care less. Because if the deputy EC can be shouting shamelessly 4 more years, even at the balloting, the EC can neglect gazetting of places for the registration. But the 1992 Constitution is paramount, so he should go and learn to upgrade himself. Mujib always interjecting. Okay. Philippa Dicasta says, good morning. Mujib, the solution to the insult politics is you openly condemning to me the Ashanti MPP regional chairman of your party on the air for the whole world to hear with regards to the interview granted him, disgracing Madam Lordina, wife of the former president. What I do just says, in the eyes of the president, George Floyd is more human than the poor Ghanaians who got trapped, maimed, killed in the collapsed church. How much more do we have to witness before believing that the man is there for the title and personal and completed family agenda? Wise up. Let me end with Habib, who says, what is happening in Nigeria is not immune to Ghana. When the masses are suppressed economically, when hardship and 3 square meals become a luxury, the people will resist. The EC should learn from the happenings elsewhere. Else, Ghana will be the loser. Let my vote count. We won't allow anybody or group of small people to determine the winner of the December elections. We shall resist oppressors' rule. Mujib.
Thought Madam would have come before, maybe because they are two coming from the same boat. Maybe I thought I would have been the last person. Asina, you are always, that's why I always have to fight you to get certain things right, especially when they have digressed and they are bringing other issues that are not important, but you still allowed them to go. But when I ask you, say you want to criticize me that I don't respect you.
Freedom of speech in this country?
It is my it is my time. I'm coming.
Do we have freedom of speech?
But you come here, you talk, you go to radio station, you talk and say what you want to say and go home free without fear or intimidation. Nobody is worrying you.
Mujib.
So what is free speech about?
Mujib, when I was in school,
you belong to your party, freedom of association. You are now talking on behalf of NDC. Nobody is worrying you.
Exactly.
Credit where the credit is due. Why are you talking as if?
But why are you talking about topics?
Okay.
Are you an examiner?
Thank you.
When I was in antenatal school, I was not as smart as you. But at least everybody knows my classmate.
Yeah. Continue.
As I'm here, my classmates are called one secondary school. I can. You see, Madam said the number, the line is short, so they are calling. So now, I think that let me make some correction here.
Okay.
This trend by the NDC to try to create the impression as if the current government under Nanado has indeed borrowed much money, but has nothing to show to the public, the people of Ghana. It's not fair, and they themselves within them, they know that what government has done. The first thing is, Sena, somebody gave you a message that they borrowed money. NDC borrowed and left. Ask them who is paying those monies. And so now all these projects that they have touted, that they have built, infrastructure, fine. Most of them were monies that were borrowed to construct those buildings under government of Ghana. And government is continuation. So ask them which government is paying those debts. See now today, thank God, under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we are not talking of doom so. So now, other than that, sometimes we come here, we can have this show because there's no light. Light is taking off. But because now there's money to constantly be paying PPEs, independent power producers, etc., etc. That is why now industries are functioning. Companies are not collapsing. Companies are not relocating to other neighboring countries because the high cost of electricity in Ghana. It is because it's not for nothing. But it is because of the prudent management of the economy and the able leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That is why we are experiencing what we are experiencing today. I hope you get it. So let's always situate it right. So but how could they have gone ahead to borrow where they left? What they left? Because they finally landed in IMF and the conditions were strange that held their hands, that you can't go beyond. That is not only on the part of borrowing. So now even employment to public sectors in this country was frozen. Okay. And government could no longer go ahead to do it. Today, under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ghana is free now. We are out of IMF. Go to Ghana Education. Over 16,000 people have been employed from 2017 up to date. These were all backlog. And thank God today we are not experiencing the agitation of Unemployment Graduate Association, which could have also catapulted to get us into what Nigeria is experiencing now. We thank Nanado today, the health sector, the nurses that were sitting at home after 5-6 years of completing school, today are now gradually being employed on daily basis into the Ghana health sector. See now, the teacher trainees that allowances that were stopped now has been restored. So ask them that if we don't manage the economy proper, we wouldn't have been able to succeed all this teacher training allowance. Sena, but you have people to take care of. The future and the welfare of the citizens of Ghana should be a paramount concern of every leader, especially the president, number one. Sena, how were we directly benefited as Ghanaians from all what that was happening under former President John Dramani Mahama? Today, when they left office, go to health insurance and see the debt that they left and what they were owing the service providers. Today, as a journalist, go there and find out. It's now on a very good footing and the people of Ghana are directly benefited. I am coming from a rural part of the country, and all in my life I have seen how people struggle, especially when they get to secondary school. From there onwards, a lot of people truncated their education at that level. Today, the president we have said no, opportunity for all the people of Ghana. Ghana belongs to all of us. It may not be easy, it may be difficult getting the resources, but we have to give the people the opportunity. That is why NDC saw it that the policy of free senior high education cannot happen. Today, we are not talking of introduction of it. Now we are talking of how to sustain it. I am not surprised today, the leader of the NDC saying that. I am not saying I'll cancel it, but we'll really look at it and see how we modernize it and make it small. But at the end of the day, it is a win-win to the people of Ghana. So, Sena, that is my point. But I am not worried because, but let me remind them that we don't have short memories. Sena, just 4 years ago, 3 and so years ago, we know the situation we were in this country. And Sena, we haven't forgotten the NDC plan now going to make Ghana a difficult place in the area of security. That is why he mentioned of their national chairman is in court because of a leak video, a leak recording. We knew the agenda, the plans to make sure that there's troubles in this country and that will put fear in the people of Ghana so that they will be angry at government. That is their plan. But we are telling them they won't succeed. You saw what is happening in Kumasi. The military, the police have been deployed. They are now all going to patrol all the principal street of Kumasi from now up to December 7th and beyond. So you dare not, as a miscreant, to go out there and cause trouble. Sena, you are accusing government of deploying soldiers, military, to go around the country, especially in the Volta region, to prevent people from registering. When the defense minister came to parliament and told the people of Ghana it wasn't for that exercise, restriction, but it was to protect the borders of the country, to confirm it and to support that. Just I think on Monday or Tuesday, Ibn Chambers, our own son, who was an MP for NDC MP, is telling the Ghanaian government that to strengthen their borders because of what is happening in the Sahel regions. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, etc., etc. Because we are not safe. All of us admitted the fact that we are not safe. And we need to control the borders and guard our borders. So when we are doing, now you want to criticize us that we want to prevent people from registering. Sena, we were all here. We discussed these issues many times. Did you hear complaints from Volta region that material were short, machines were faulty, the people were not getting access to register? When even the NDC themselves were putting it out there, how the numbers were rising, the numbers of registrants were rising in the Volta region. How then do you tend to accuse the NPP of trying to suppress people from coming out to vote? It's not fair. Let's be sincere. So that is our argument. And the point of Charlotte Osei is a procedural. Nobody knows, and no, we all know, Madam is here as a lawyer, that the president doesn't have that power, especially the independent institutions we have, of which Electoral Commission is one. You can't just get up and say you are firing the chairperson or chairman of the Electoral Commission. You can't do that. But you have to follow the procedure. It is not, Charlotte Osei was not only accused of being incompetent, but the financial malfeasance and those kind of corruption activities that were coming from their own outfit by themselves was a source of concern, and that informed other well-meaning Ghanaians to send a petition. Sena, you give yourself out. How we are getting? So why do we always say Charlotte? Was she the only one that was removed? alongside others that way. So when the public lost confidence in you, and that office is no for you, have no option than to go. So let's get it. Just like he was saying that the Auditor General, I call it who watches the watchman. We have to find a way of watching the watchman. From what Uncle Kusupra said, by the laws, the Auditor General can be audited, but you must follow the procedure. But the substantive is right. So let's get that one correct. And I believe, knowing who the Auditor General is, if he thinks that the procedure in getting him audited is wrong, I know he will hesitate, he will head to court. But it is right that everybody in this country is subject to the laws of the land. Nobody is above the law. So whether you are the president, you are a minister, you are ambassador, you are a DCE, you are Alhaji and Alhaji host or a panelist, you are subjects within the laws of Ghana. And at any point in time, the laws can catch up with you. So let's get that one clear. So now for performance of government, it is clear. And the president is being real to the people of Ghana. So he has demonstrated their concerns. Even we didn't know of COVID. Nobody anticipated that we'll be hit by COVID. But now under COVID, see how decisive the president has and what the president has done. Today, electricity free to lifeline consumers. 50% to other consumers. Water is free. Now, what we are getting. So now we pay there. If you don't like this, what do you like again? You think this could have happened under President Mahama? I don't think so. And this thing couldn't have happened under Mahama. When he told us that now you are winning training and he say, hey, you are winning meeting now we are left with the boom. So with the bone economy, how were you able to? How could you have been able to help Ghanaians in this direction? It was not going to be possible. So I think that people can accuse, they can do their propaganda, they are free to do so, but the people of Ghana know where we were and where we are now and where we want to go. So now, come to infrastructure. Who is not building infrastructure? Who is not building infrastructure? Every government that comes will build infrastructure because we have the system set up. Okay. The GET fund will build schools. The road sector will build roads. Okay. And we have the massive roads constructions that are going on in this country. And I wanted to ask Shumbuof, I don't know where he has run to, that he should go to my area. If you go to Upper West, I don't know whether you follow his leader, former President Mama, maybe to go to Upper West region. Then when you get to Wa East, the Kulung river that now has been constructed, the bridge has been constructed, and it's shorter when you are from the Upper West region linking to the north. It's far less than using the Sola Damango road stretch. And that is being constructed under NPP. A lot of work is going on across the country. But when you sit in Accra here, and you think Accra is Ghana, so there's nothing happening in other parts of the country, you'll be tickling yourself and be laughing. So I just want to assure him that for the year of rules that has been declared by the president, it is indeed happening. Maybe he refused to see, or he has not traveled extensive enough in recent times to know that the actual works are going on. So what is the problem? And Sena, we will do our politics. We will talk. But the people of Ghana know the reality. Between John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, and President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, these are the two candidates that are the strongest political parties. And the choice is yours. And I know, without any hesitation, that it will be difficult for NDC to get it. 4 more for Nana, based on the performance of government and based on the sincerity that he is with the people of Ghana. It will be difficult for him to be unseated. And he told us that he doesn't need the Electoral Commission to win. To confirm that he won from opposition. He was in opposition, we were in opposition, NDC was in government, but we managed to defeat the incumbent. So why will we need the Electoral Commission to win election? Campaign say election
thank you. Of the country. Mujib says, Mujib, can you tell me how Ghana got COVID-19? You said the president has shown leadership in COVID management. Did that include himself being quarantined? How much money did we borrow and mobilize from the COVID funds? and how did we spend it? That's from Ambassador Sam Piale. Kwesi in the UK says NDC should focus more on winning the 2020 elections and guide against insecurity, Electoral Commission and rigging. The party should have left no stone unturned. The party should leave no stone unturned to victory. Thank you very much, Kwesi in the UK. Let me end with Seholi, who is in Atoko, says, our legacy arrears is still not paid. Tell the MPP guys that what happened to former President Mahama will happen to them in multiple magnitude. No single trained teacher posted from College of Education 2014 batch to Ketang, Logan District received 1 cedis up to now. But the Vice President said all legacy arrears have been paid. Has it been paid to party cronies? That's from Sechua Fia Lemdasi. I think so. That's the name. Ambassador.
Thank you, Sena. Before I go on to the main topic, I would like to address a few of the issues that my brother here raised. First of all, he said that they have solved Doomso, and I'm saying it here again. You did not solve Doomso. Stop lying to the people of Ghana. It is like farming. Okay, so I come and sow a seed, and it's time for harvest, and then you come and harvest the crop, and then you say that I didn't do anything. You only are benefiting from the toil of His Excellency John Mahama. And I will ask you, how many megawatts have you added? And the answer I get is always silence, because they have not added anything. And it's on record. The energy minister has said it. So everywhere I go, I will ask the same question. How many megawatts have you added? Silence. Okay.
You've added.
So let me go on. You had your time. You had your time. You had your time. Now,
this is
okay. Please let her.
But I've been gentle with Ambassador.
Well, we both been gentle to each other.
Ambassador, continue for me.
So okay. So what it is that even the energy minister is on record I haven't said that they have added zero to it. So you did not solve Doomso. His Excellency John Mahama took the bull by the horns and solved the problem. And as of 2016, when he had brought in the badges to solve the problem, that's when we left power. So you are enjoying the legacy of His Excellency. So stop lying to the people of Ghana that you solved Doomso. You did not solve Doomso. You are only enjoying the benefit of His Excellency. Now, coming on to the borrowing. You've borrowed 150 billion Ghana cedis, and you are here saying that you are blaming NDC for borrowing that money. See, this is a typical example of someone who has misused money and is blaming other people for all his problems except himself. So here you are, you have misused the money. You cannot tell us what you have used the money for, and you are here saying that, oh, NDC left debt behind, NDC left projects that they needed to pay. Contractors are on record. NDC people who did, I don't call them NDC contractors because they are neutral. I don't know them as NDC. Contractors who worked during NDC period and built projects are on record. Some of them have gone bankrupt because this government has refused to pay them, and it is on record. So where did the massacre away? And during opposition, the president is on record as flag bearer, saying that yes, it is a castle in Sukomede. Baumia is also on record as saying that we don't need to borrow to develop the country because there's already money here. And in 4 years, you have borrowed 150 billion Ghana cedis. Sena, more money than what other governments have borrowed from Nkrumah's time, and they have nothing to show for it. And they are asking Ghanaians to give them four more to borrow more to steal more. Is that it? Okay, now let's go on to the nurses issue. He said that they have employed nurses. And this is what they've been lying to the nurses with. They tell them that, oh, we like you better than the NDC. But the nurses, let me tell you one thing, and I'm looking in the camera to say this. Between 2013 to 2016, NDC employed 42,000 nurses. So, which one do you prefer? That they would give you small alawa to finish school. Then when you finish, for the next 10 years, you stay at home with no job. Is that what you prefer? Within 2013 to 2016, NDC is on record, employed 42,000 nurses. MPP between 2017 to 2020 has employed only 17,200 nurses. So the records are there. MPP is fond of rhetorics. I think they've trained them to just go on a tangent. Go and say this, go and say this. Domelevo is incompetent. Go and say, repeat it until it gets into people's head and they tend to hate him. But that is not going to work anymore. Stop the rhetorics. We are playing with people's lives here. This is real life that we are talking about. So rhetorics, the Donald Trump way where you use rhetorics to get into people's heads. People, I'm telling you, 45 days to make a change. Because NPP has no plan whatsoever for you. They have borrowed, they have misused the money. The infrastructure is not, when you ask them, they'll tell you we built toilets. And that the hospitals that we built was not good enough. So they are better managers of the economy. They have built as toilets. Talk about IMF and borrowing once again. They said that they promised Ghanaians during opposition that when they come, we have taken them to IMF. They will take us Ghana out of IMF. They took us out of IMF. They had a Kenke party at the Ministry of Finance, led by Ken Ofori-Atta. Kenke party to celebrate coming out of IMF. What did we see this year? This year, what did we see? During COVID, they ran back to IMF. IMF gave them $1 billion USD. Where is that money? That money is gone. Where is they promised? So you did not take us. This year, we have gone back to IMF. IMF has given us $1 billion USD. Where is that money? Where did that money go? Where did all the monies that people donated during the COVID? Where are all those monies? You wasted, I don't even know how much they wasted on that useless COVID app. But they wasted taxpayers' money on the COVID app. That is now a white elephant that we do not use. Now, coming on to the substantive issue. Domelevo, that's the right pronunciation. Okay. This man is a very honorable man. At least in the fight against corruption in this government, this Danado MPP government, Domelevo stood tall. He was the hope of Ghanaians in fighting corruption in this government. This government campaigned on the back of corruption. They accused ex-President Mahama of all sorts of corruption, of which they have not been able to prove one till date. They came and they said they were going to fight corruption. They set up a special prosecutor's office. Till date, the special prosecutor, we have not seen his work. He has become a lame duck. Well, that's his problem. That's not my problem. But Domelevo stood tall. He was the one who unearthed most corruption cases against this government. And as an independent appointee, he was doing his job. But from 2019, we all saw the signs that this government was going to overthrow Domelevo. And the reason why I use the word overthrow is because they know that if they have to sack him, they have to go through the Constitution, because the Constitution protects him just like the Constitution protects judges. So he cannot just be fired. His Article 146 covers him, as well as other Supreme Court, court judges. He's protected, just like the Electoral Commissioner. So this government, using the same tactics as they used on Charlotte Osei, are trying to get rid of Domelevo. So in June, they wrote to him to take. So for those who don't know the story, they wrote to him to take a leave of 123 days. And the man fought back and said, listen, under our labor law, I cannot take 123 days because the labor law is clear on it. If within a year you do not take your accumulated leave, you forfeit those days. It doesn't carry on to the next year. And you do not get cash in return for it also. So the years that I have taken, the days that I did not take, I have forfeited them. So asking me to go and sit at home for 123 days is unlawful. They came back and said, because he has said that, then he should go back for 160 days more. They added some more days.
They dashed him
some more days. And this is a government. They should tell us, since 2016 to 2020, how many government appointees have taken their leave? Have they been asked to go on 123 days? Because it is all right. Once you forfeit it, your employer cannot force you to take that leave. So they've taken us back into those days where you wake up and they'll tell you that you've been asked to go on, proceed on leave, and that means firing. But the constitution is clear. So Domelevo's overthrow is unconstitutional. Now, because he can only be fired for incompetence or for doing something wrong, I'm sure they've gone inside and they are trying to find something against him, but they can't find anything against him. So now they are saying that they are investigating him for foreign travels. Come on, guys, foreign travels. Kempon, I saw an audited report recently where Kempon, the report suggests that air tickets that were supposed to cost 1,000 and is on record, so you can find it. Air ticket that is supposed to cost $1,300, Kempon travel agency sold to government ministries and agencies, sold it to them for $6,000, $10,000. So if there's any foreign travels that needs to be investigated, please go and investigate the tickets that Kempon has sold to all the government agencies, selling it 4 times, 5 times the price of an air ticket. So this hula baloo about the Domelevo being investigated for foreign travels, it's just a charade to get the man out, just as they did to Charlotte Osei, so that they'll say, oh yeah, we found something against him and he has to go. Domelevo, if you know how the system works in ministries, in departments, in agencies, Domelevo does not buy his own ticket. When there's an invitation, there's a department in the ministry that is responsible for buying the ticket. He sits in he's the boss. He sits there, they accept the invitation of wherever foreign travels he's going to go, and then the protocol person goes to make the arrangements of wherever they buy their ticket from and brings him the ticket. So this allegation is just frivolous, just to tarnish the image of Domelevo. And it is sad, because Ghana's fight against corruption, he was the champion. All the corruption allegations against this government, I have a list here, and I'll read some for you. This man was the one, saving the taxpayer. This government has gotten rid of Domelevo and brought in their puppet. They brought in the puppet, someone they can control, because Domelevo was too hard for them. And Domelevo himself saw it coming, and he said, if they sack him, he will go into farming. He won't be hungry. And I agree. He won't be hungry because he's a professional. So, as Ghanaians, when things are happening, we should stop the Enyashe Namibeya attitude and ask questions. Because it is because of that my phone, hold on. It is because of this same attitude that you have people taking advantage of Ghanaians. And I look into the faces of the youth and I feel for them, because I can see the hopelessness in their eyes. I can see it. When a group of family members have hijacked this country and grabbing left, right, center, everything they can lay hands on, and taking it for themselves. They are not spreading the word. Even amongst his own party, he's sitting here right now. What the Nanado family has benefited, has he even got a 100th of it?
He has no training.
He hasn't even got 100th of it.
So,
Yet,
I never knew, maybe when NDC was in government. When NDC was in government, everything, all your members.
When I say you have
no training,
let him continue.
So, hold on.
Your mother didn't train you.
Hey, that one.
Pass between me and Zita.
So some of these corruption allegations are real. They are very real. They are here. There's a long list. The boss scandal, Afro Dobing at Boss, where they sold the contaminated oil and pocketed the money. How do you even sell contaminated oil to Ghanaians? You don't respect them, because once contaminated oil goes into your vehicle is gone. But this is the kind of insensitive government we have. Ken Oforiatta opened a Kembon in one day. Sold everything to...
You are watching, remind him of RMG, etc.
Let me finish. When I finish, you can talk. You had your chance. I have my time now. Let me do my time. In a day, Kembon, which was supposed to give everyone the chance to, buy some of the shares, but was bought by one person. Why? What kind of greediness is that? Charles Bishop, Galamsey fraud. Has he been prosecuted? He was cleared. This president is known for clearing corruption cases. And you know why? He doesn't want any tag of corruption on his government. Unlike His Excellency John Mahama, who is on record as, prosecuting members of his own government that were found to be corrupt. So when it comes to corruption, you cannot tag. Your government isn't corrupt. You are to corrupt to the extent that it beats the devil's mind. It surprises even the devil. So when we are talking about corruption, you guys should just bow your head in shame and just accept that you have failed Ghanaians. Look at what happened at Ghana Maritime Authority. 13 ACs and all that. And the NLA scandal. The GEPA scandal. All of them were cleared. The list is there. Tiwa Adodankwa was caught on tape. You have taken my chairman's tape to Israel to go and verify whether it was his name. Why didn't you take the Tiwa Adodankwa tape to Israel also to go and verify whether it was his tape? How did she get rewarded? She got rewarded by being promoted. This is the kind of government we are talking about. So Ghanaians, vote them out. They have no good intentions for this country. And they take you for granted. And the reason why they take you for granted is because civil society is quiet. The media is in bed with them. The media is supposed to protect Ghanaians. They're supposed to be the fourth estate where checks and balances work. But when something is going on, they sleep. They watch them. Unless it's me, then they will come and put me on a front page. But if it's any other serious matter that needs to be talked about, nothing is said about it. And thanks to social media, all of us have our pages and we are able to, bring some of these things to light.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just this message that came in, the person only wanted to respond to one thing. I think would you be responding to you? It says, Sena, please, we pay for the electricity. So tell the MPP man he is lying. And even water, it doesn't flow that much. Yeah, because you said 50%, that's why. They only do for Lifeline now. 50%. And you have to, Lifeline is a whole debate altogether. So those are... okay, so I can afford a minute each if you want on the Nigerian issue, briefly. Yes. Yeah, so I'll start with it.
Yeah. Yes, as my big brother Kwesi Pra said before he went away, when you see your friend's beard burning, go and get a bucket of water and dip your head into it. Nigeria, this SARS issue didn't start today, and all around us, it's not just in Nigeria, it's happening right now in Cameroon, where the president has been in power since 1982. The last video I saw of him, they call him the absentee president. The last video I saw of him, people were holding him, olijo like that, and they were bringing him out. The man could hardly walk. And here he is still in Cameroon. So how can Cameroon move forward with a president like that? You need a sharp person to move that poor country forward. But that old man is still holding on to power since 1982. In Guinea right now, the opposition has won. The president there is refusing to accept defeat. As we speak, their internet connection has been disconnected. So the people don't have internet to report anything that is happening in Guinea. And that is another old man who is abusing the system. Now, in Ivory Coast, Ouattara should bow his head in shame. Because this is the same Ouattara who in 2010 fought against a third term of Laurent Gbagbo. And Laurent Gbagbo was humiliated and was arrested because of the same thing that Ouattara is now about to do. So as African leaders, do we even have any integrity? Do we have conscience? Do we? So this man has changed the constitution. He changed the constitution in 2016 to allow him to run a third term. And he's saying that because the constitution has been was amended in 2016, he's eligible to run again. And the first 2 terms that he ran is now void. This is the kind of president that Ouattara is. Unfortunately, you have over 47 opposition people contesting him, 40 of which have already been disqualified. And the 2 of them, now they have 4 running. 2 of them, I understand, want to boycott it. So it's just going to be between him and another person. Nigeria, SARS. The people are upset. Yes, the IGP has withdrawn SARS. But the reason why the issue is not ending is because now it has gone beyond SARS. The youth are mad. They are angry at the way this Nigerian government has treated the whole thing. They are angry at the Lagos governor for saying that, oh, I'll pay the bills of the injured. And what the people are saying is that, can you bring back the dead? You can't. There's human lives at stake. We don't want you to pay bills. We can pay our own bills. What we want you to do, and that's exactly what they also told Buhari, that what we want you to do is to open an investigation into the activities of SARS. There were accusations of rape, kidnapping, and all. So you don't talk about how people, innocent civilians, were abused, but you are coming to tell us that may the source of the people, police people who lost their lives rest in peace. That's not good enough. Now, if you bring it to Ghana, we need to be careful as a country, because these countries that I have mentioned, they are our neighbors.
Okay.
And when against West, they are all going to come into Ghana as refugees. We still have Buduburam come from Liberia.
Okay.
Okay. ECOWAS chair, our president, people had to push him on Twitter to comment, and he did not even say anything tangible. All he said was that both sides, whatever. As ECOWAS chair, we need more action from those old men. Enough is enough. We need more action from those old men. You have 20th century men in power who are ruling in 21st century. They have no clue what the 21st century is about. And you know that 21st century is a total ball game. So you need African youth. It's about time you let the 70s and 80s go and rest, and bring in young people who can turn the continent around.
Okay. Thank you. Najib.
Yeah. I am worried about what is happening in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, etc. And I can only say that it is the earlier the leaders sit up, the better. Specifically Nigeria, I think that SARS is only the maybe immediate issue that they are talking about and want the dissolution of that unit of the police force. But I think that from what is happening there, I think that people have harbored some issues within them for a longer period of time, and that have made them more angrier. And if you see what is happening and the unending riot there, I think that it goes beyond that they only want SARS to be disbanded. So, and I think it can only be about this food and butter and bread issue. So, and I think that the leaders there should also listen, as the president has spoken, and the leaders of the demonstrators are also have at this stage have to listen. And I think they can resolve this matter through dialogue. Because after destroying the country belongs to the leaders and the govern and the government and the govern. So even if today they are not there, you come, but you also have to make sure you mobilize resources to put on those trackers. So going on, I condemn the distractions. There are ways they can get their grievances addressed without taking to distractions of properties. For what is happening in Cote d'Ivoire, I don't want to comment on it because I hate anybody who is undemocratic. That is my principle. You come, you get 2 terms. Just go. Whether the constitution has been amended or the constitutional court has been, what kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? Sena, if you could have given the people of Cote d'Ivoire milk, you could have done it within the 2-year term period. And when you know the history of Cote d'Ivoire, and this is just, people don't care. Because he and his children will get out of it, but innocent people will lose their life, and he doesn't care. People like that doesn't care. So when we are doing this to ourselves, and the Europeans and the Americans are referring to us as a shithole countries, and we are angry, aren't we? So now, why should people think that the only way is through politics, and you want to hang on to power till you die? What else can you offer again? What else can you offer? So now you want to plunge the country into trouble. So when it's hot, then you run away and leave the citizens to kill themselves. It's not fair. But I think that the youth are waking up, and I know some are condemning their bodies. But when they go to meet themselves, I know maybe what they will say public, but they will tell themselves, Jack, we have to sit up. Give the people what they want.
Okay.
Other than that, maybe it's A, it might be B. Others doomsayers. I don't see the picture now like what and other countries, because the present now, the constitution we have is 2 terms, and nobody can they say I want to amend the constitution and go 3 terms. What is happening in Cote d'Ivoire with respect to constitutional crisis cannot happen in Ghana here. We know you can contest. If you win, you have the opportunity to go for 2nd term. If by God's grace you get the 2nd term, you are finished. You go, other people will come. So that area will not happen. Maybe what we'll be talking about, employment issues, how to create opportunities for the youth and all those. And I think that on that score, both the current government and successive has done better, but I think that there's still more to be done. And that is why I felt that the opposition and all others should support the government drive of one district, one factory. It's very, very important. When we lose guide in creating opportunities for the youth, look, there's a saying that the evil searches for the idle man. When the man sit there doesn't have work and you are able to fish him, you can cause trouble.
Thank you.
I hope you are getting the argument. Yeah.
Kojo.
Well, it's good I like it. Sena.
What is
good I like it.
Thank you. You have.
We need to take them.
You have
at the center stage of
I don't
our
have time for this. Please.
What is happening in Nigeria is very, very troubling. Like my sister Zita said, sometimes we have to be very worried when we have this is not a statement against geriatricism, but people of a certain age simply should not be running the country. It's my view, and let me say what supports my view. Why do we say that civil servants, judges, public servants should go on retirement between 60, 65 and 70, at least 70 for Supreme Court judges? But why do you think a president of this republic should be 70, 80 years? Even with the football age, should be 70, 80 years. Why do we think somebody who's 82 years should still be running the country, as in Guinea? Like they said about Paul Biya, Ali Bongo. I mean, President Bongo in Gabon, when he is moving from the gate to the front porch, the whole country has to be on standstill because it takes him about an hour. Why are you still in power? What can you contribute? President Ouattara is not well. He's been battling prostate cancer for a very long time. What is it that makes him? And this is a man whose quest for power has cost the Ivory Coast a civil war. The same things that he tried to stop with the help of the French government is what he's doing now. But we don't learn anything. And you can't blame them because they came from opposition. The very people who voted for them should stop complaining. In this country, a few years ago, what Mujibo is saying that cannot happen in Ghana, I would have sided with him. But the evidence in the last 3 years doesn't support that. Because a few years ago, we would have said that an electoral commissioner can never be removed. In this government, we find out that the government is a conveyor belt for, excuse me to say, stupid petitions. Right? Your right leg wears size 8, your left leg wears size 9, therefore it's a petition, remove the person. Right? We have removed people who have security of tenure. An electoral commissioner, we've removed the Bank of Ghana governor. We are now in the last vestiges of removing an auditor general, so that corruption can become endemic, so that we can buy more discotheques. That is where we are heading, and we have to be very careful. But you see, I always talk about history being replete with examples. In Burkina Faso, when the people had had enough of Blaise Compaoré, they marched to where he was enjoying his power without guns, without sticks and stones. The people marched up, and in the end, he had to run away with his helicopter. Blaise Compaoré was the most armed president in this contiguous ECOWAS. He had more arms, he had caused more civil wars anywhere. He was the person who was funding the civil war in Cote d'Ivoire. And yet when the time came, he fled. What happened to Yahya Jammeh? He fled. What happened in Mali? So when the people have had enough of you, they have had enough of you.
Okay.
I have my problems with the way we define democracy vis-a-vis our culture. I have a problem with it. But since we have decided to go and sit down and write constitutions and predicate them on the useless constitutions of the Western governments, let's just live with it.
Okay.
Until and unless we decide that we want differently.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Just two messages. This one is from Komla Ganya, Sentinel Day. Says one of the foreign travel which needs to be investigated is abandonment of presidential jet by the president for rented private jet at the cost of $17,000 to travel around the globe. He says it's always a delight listening to Mr. Chumbwa for great submission. And then there's this one from Alhaji Akumapa, who says, good morning. And said 4 more for Nana to increase COVID test to $300. 4 more to sell Flagstaff House. 4 more supply water twice a month to the people of Medina. 4 more to 10 Ghanaians into slaves for his family, among others that she has sent. A big thank you to Mr. Kojo Chumbuavu, who is a former chief executive of the Ghana Free Zones Board. A big thank you to Mujib Rahman, who is a member of the communications team of the New Patriotic Party. A big thank you to Ambassador Zita Saba Benson, who is a former Ghana ambassador to the Czech Republic.
Ambassador, honorable lawyer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I would have had to recount everything. So I decided to go with the most recent. So a big thank you to her for this. This is her very first appearance on the show, and a big thank you. A big thank you. A big thank you to Mr. Kwesi Prajini as always. He had to take an early leave. A very big thank you to him. My name is Sena Nombo. A big thank you to the crew here at Pan African Television, who is doing a wonderful job. And also to our several affiliates across the country. A big thank you to Ahunto 92.3 FM for providing us their platform for use for Alhaji and Alhaji. We are back same time next week to another edition of the show. I would like to say a happy birthday to 2 people, Erica Jekum and also to Bernard Alote. I understand today they are burying the mother of former President Jerry John Rawlings, who passed on. And so condolences to him and to the family. We are back next week with another edition of the show. Thanks for making time. And have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your week.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him. Ghana showboy, Africa's great son, Sergeant Dr. Nkrumah.